Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. A not-so-great weekend for the Reds could tumble into the week. Shortstop Ellie De La Cruz exited yesterday's 6-4 win over the Braves with hamstring tightness. Sunday's win was the only one of the weekend for the Redlegs over visiting Atlanta. De La Cruz will have an MRI this morning on that hammy. Cincinnati begins a homestand with Kansas City tonight at 7:10. Reds enter the week 6 games back of the Brewers in the NL Central. As for the Guardians, Cleveland saw their AL Central lead shrink to 1 game. Guardians dropped 2 of 3 to the visiting Red Sox over the weekend. Cleveland's got Monday off. They'll head to New York to take on the Yankees Tuesday. In the minors, the Clippers took 5 of 6 last week from Toledo, winning on Sunday 6-4. Columbus is back at Huntington Park tomorrow for a homestand with Omaha, and the 50th celebration of the Memorial Tournament starts this week at Muirfield Village. Practice rounds begin today, tomorrow, Pro-Am on Wednesday. We'll be live Thursday morning for the first round and all weekend long from Jack's Place, live on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Monday of June edition. Boy, it's June, kids. It is June. It is go time. Pretty loaded up for you. Fun little Monday. 9:30 today is a big day in the National Football League as NFL trades can become official. The A.J. Brown deal should be imminent with him headed to the Patriots, and keep an eye potentially. A lot of whispers around Myles Garrett this morning as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as the day goes along. Chris Fedor going to join us at 10:30, Cleveland.com on the NBA and an NBA Finals that I don't know. I think it's fair to say I don't know if anybody saw it coming. Not like this. Spurs and Knicks will play for the NBA championship starting on Wednesday. Then Austin is pushed to 11:30. He will join us at 11:30. Jake Dealer having an availability today at 10 o'clock. So we'll keep an eye on that as well as the Buckeye basketball coach has some comments today in early June. I'll start here. We put up a lot weather-wise. Extreme weather, basically rain all spring. And so when you are rewarded the way that we were rewarded over the course of this weekend, we like to cash in those chips. That's what we do around here. So I had a spectacular weekend. The family had a spectacular weekend. We had our lacrosse league finals took place Saturday and Sunday. So we had paid about 35 minutes away. Bootsy's about 5. But a lot of their games overlapped. So we were able to kind of, Aim and I were bouncing around, able to watch kind of both and just make the drives in between. But then they both played for championships at 3 o'clock, and she went with Bootsy, and I went with NBC. And luckily, they both ended up winning those championships. NBC's 8th grade championship was probably the most intense youth sports game I've ever been to in my life. The opposition, I wasn't sure entirely understand the rules of lacrosse. Their MO seemed to be to just kind of play some football with the sport and use sticks as weapons, and it's fine. But good kids, and it all worked out. We ended up winning 6-5 in that one, and then so that was like an up at 8 o'clock, and then lacrosse all day. We had to be at the fields by 7:30, so that was a full day. Afterwards, I go, "Well, buddy, what do you want to do?" To NBC, he goes, "Dad, I'd love to play some golf." Okay. All right, pal, let's go play a little bit of golf. So we did. So we got some golf in, and that was fun. And we repeated that process on Sunday. Beamsy's team did the same. They ended up winning it. So that was really cool. And then afterwards, he wanted to play golf too. So guys, it was here it was low 70s was the high, low to mid 70s is kind of what it was. And usually Sunday night at our club is kind of like family night. So like if you want to go on with your kids and go play, like when the boys were really little, when they couldn't really play, like that was kind of the day that you would go and play and go sneak around, get 6 holes in, 9, whatever you could, maybe have a meal, something like that. So it's usually relatively wide open. So we pull up to the club last night at 5:45 to play a little golf. Fellas, there were golfers everywhere. There were golfers everywhere. Everyone had the exact same idea. When we get a little bit of nice weather, my God, do we take advantage of it. And this weekend was Chamber of Commerce. You guys have good weekends?
This was picturesque.
Yeah.
I've lamented long the death of the RSNs, and not lamented the RSNs. Glad they're dead, because I was able to watch the Guardians on my phone while I was outside.
Yeah, man.
While they didn't perform well against the Red Sox, being able to do that is the ultimate, it's summer. And there's nothing that feels better than just sitting outside with little to no obligations while you have sports on around you.
I think that's fair.
For what I did the 3 days in a row there, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the weather couldn't have been better. Going down and watching a couple games of softball Thursday night, and then going and watching another one on Friday night, and then heading down to Cincinnati and playing in that golf outing with Dad over the weekend. It was.
How'd you play?
It was just perfect. We did okay in the group. I think we shot 6 under. It was a big scramble.
Okay.
So we shot 6 under. It was a slow start for me, hitting the ball wise, especially off the tee. But as we went along and got some more swing lube in us, we did much better. Started to hit the ball a little better. So it was a fun time.
Swing lube improves your game?
Well, yeah, the joints are a little achy and creaky. You lube them up a little bit, and then they can flow freely.
You're like the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. And all of a sudden it loosens up.
Might be irresponsible for us to ask this question, but I am curious of our listeners, does it make you better or worse?
This is a fantastic question out of you, Reese. This is a fantastic question. I'm terrible anyway, but if I have a cocktail while I play, forget it. And it's not because I'm inebriated. I'm a professional. It's not that at all. But just for whatever reason.
Your mindset just goes completely in a different direction.
It's gone, dude. I'm gone. Put it on the poll.
All right.
Do you play better with swing juice or swing lube? What's the best way to phrase it, Bake? Are you a better golfer with swing juice or without?
Do you play better golf while drinking or sober?
I was going to say, Bo Bishop wants to know if your golf game improves the more pops you have.
That's fine. That's fine. Well, no, because I want it to be either we got to go black or white. It's got to be either none, no drinks, or because for me, even a drink, it starts to get south.
Do you play better or worse while drinking? Yes or no?
That might work. That something like that might work. So I was last night. I'm terrible. Last night I was having NBC was running his mouth just in my ear about how he asked me. He goes, "Dad, if we played from the tips, what do you think I would shoot?" I said 106. No way. There's no way I'm shooting 106. I'm like, dude, way back there. Like, look where that is. You're gonna come on. What are you talking about? He's like, okay, fine. Verse me. Okay. All right, fine. I'll verse you. I go, do you want to do it real, or do you want to do it like the thing where you do, where nothing can be worse than an 8, or if you hit it into the tree, you can take a breakfast ball. I mean, he wants a breakfast ball anytime he mishits it. And magically, he gets a lot of bogeys that to me feel to him like triples. That's what it feels like to me. Now, I'm familiar with this because I've done this in life. I've done this. A little bit of a foot wedge, who gets hurt, a little bit of a fluffed lie. Okay, fine. I do those things. I'm not out here competing for the Ryder Cup. So we go along, and I go, our club's kind of weird. So it starts 1, 9, 10, and 18 are all par 5s. So I go out. We're going to play 9. Beamsy's there as well. I go out 5, 4, 3, 4, 4. So 5 straight pars. Which is, I at one point NBC goes, who is this guy? Like, what are you doing? Like, I had a couple of putts for birdies. Like, this is not who I am as a player in any way, shape, or form. But I'm hitting it well in a way, and so away we go. So I'm up several shots on him. We head to 6, And my wife shows up with, the blonde shows up with Bootsy, because Bootsy wants to play too, and he was at a little buddy's house, so he wants to play too. So they show up. So as soon as she shows up, my first shot, it's not a slice, but it's down the right side. So it's first one not in the fairway. Okay. Well, it's been cruising. So now I start to think like, okay, fine. So second shot out of the rough, just off the fairway. Kind of duff it a little bit. It moves ahead straight, but it's fine. So on 6, I'm on the top of the green, and it's kind of a tricky little bump and run because it's kind of a downhill green, and I need to get. In my head, I'm thinking just take a 5 and get out of here. It's all right. The par streak's over. Let's take a bogey and get out of here. So I go with the old 7-iron trick, a little bump and run with the 7-iron. Well, I get too much of it, and this sucker goes off the green. My wife goes, "Well, why did you hit that so hard?" Honey, I wasn't intending to hit it that hard. Okay? Wasn't intending to hit it that hard. So now a 5 becomes a 7, and now the whole round's shot to hell. It's shot to hell. And now he's got this thing where he figured out about halfway through, he's hitting like this low T stinger that he hits like 240, 250 now. And he just zings. It just rolls forever. And now they're dried out, so you can roll. There's nothing that's stopping. They'll roll forever. So he's hitting this stinger thing off the tee that he's hitting well. Now, luckily, I built up so much of a lead that we were safe. I ended up 44. He ended up, I think, 49. So it was fine. But so we get done, and I said to her, honey, like, I understand when it goes wrong, I don't need you to say, well, why did you hit it right? Like, I get it. I'm not trying to do this. I'm not good enough to hit it where I want it to. I basically just swing, and I hope that the damn thing ends up straight. That's where we're at with mine. There's no thought to it. I'm not misaligned. There's nothing like that. Like, I line up as straight as I can in my head that it's going to go, and that's it. And the less I think about it, the best. And normally, I suppose to bring it full circle, that's the swing lube conversation. Because when a lot of people have swing lube, then they're not thinking about it. For me, for whatever reason, I end up thinking about it more. So who knows? We'll see where everybody. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful weekend. And by the way, 10-day forecast, Jack's Place. Come on. Weekend could get a little dicey. I'm on 10tv.com right now. Thursday and Friday when we're out there for our program, 83, 0% chance of rain, 85, 10% chance of rain. Going to be a fun week. At weekend, we might be dodging a little bit, but I think it's going to be all right. It's going to be a great weekend at Jack's Place. We had a Game 7 of an NBA Western Conference Finals that, unfortunately, by the way, the pollen is still crazy. OKC was just never quite able to get it close enough, and we had an arrival that happened a little quicker than everybody thought. We will get to all of that and so much more. We're off and running on Monday. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
3 decades, one family, and a simple promise to deliver a white glove customer experience every single time. Newman Roofing, locally owned, family operated, and proud to have earned 1,200 5-star reviews from families just like you. Call Newman Roofing today, 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit newmanroofing.com.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet store. This is the time. You want to be outside. You need to be outside. But do you really want to be on your feet if they're killing you? That's why I went to the Good Feet store. I stressed about knowing I would be standing at a multiple-hour event or even playing in a golf tourney where I knew I would be walking. But when I got fitted for my personal arch supports, it changed the game for me in a great way. I honestly feel much better supported and aligned, and it's taken the pressure off my lower back. I could feel the difference instantly in my test walk at the store. Just a solid foundation right from the get-go. And now, every day, everything feels a little better. Their experts will personally fit you like they did me. And do what I did. Take the test walk around the store and you'll feel the difference. I've learned it all starts with the feet. And when you get the proper support, everything feels better. You can make an appointment online or just stop in the Good Feet store. They're in Grove City or on Polaris Parkway in Westerville. Or get started right now at goodfeet.com.
When you saw your heating bills this winter, did you think this is out of control? The problem is your house is leaking money. And the only thing higher than your heating bills are your cooling bills. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us fix your energy bill problem for good. If you aren't foam insulated, you really aren't insulated. For $99 a month, Interest-free, we'll foam your home and help cut those energy bills. 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
When it's time to ask life's biggest question, make sure your ring says it all. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and we've been helping couples say yes for over 78 years. From brilliant cuts to better prices, the quality and selection of our diamonds is unmatched. Because diamonds aren't just our business, they're our legacy. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com. Bigger diamonds, better prices, guaranteed.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness. Our experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. Ohio State Urgent Care. This is world-class care.
Get your vehicle summer ready at your local AAA Tire and Auto Service. Save $50 on an air conditioning recharge. Offer includes a free electronic multi-point inspection of your vehicle. Terms apply. See store for details. Offer ends June 30th.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Call today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you want and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, foreclosures, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Call today and speak with me, John Kozik, for an all-cash offer and the help you need. At 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000, TurboTrackRealty.com.
The Fan has a secret radio station. It's called The Fan 2. You can listen to the Bob and Tom Show, Jim Rome, and Buckeye stuff. Why do they pay me big money to whisper? The Fan 2 is on the Fan's HD2 channel and streaming on the Fan app. You're welcome. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine for us in the forecast today, and as we go into the afternoon, a nice mix of sun and clouds with highs in the upper 70s. For tonight, mostly cloudy, becoming clear overnight with lows in the 50s, and then for Tuesday, we'll see plenty of sunshine in the forecast with highs in the upper 70s and winds breezy out of the northeast. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
We'll have much more on this as we get into the second hour of the program. But I was, with it all, a crazy busy Saturday. I did watch Game 7 of the Spurs and the Thunder. Was excited to see it. The Spurs kind of laid the hammer down in that first quarter, and it just felt like OKC could never get all the way over the hump in this thing. And it's so interesting to me. And you guys, I don't know if you guys encountered this as well. The amount of like the boys' buddies even who were kind of tangentially interested in this, who all were going for the Spurs. Like Bootsy, Shea's a flopper, like all of this stuff. Like, and his buddies were all saying this stuff. Like, everybody was rooting for the Spurs. I'm guessing it's coming from TikTok, or I mean, Bootsy's not on that, so I don't know where it's coming from. But they were all over it, Reese.
Yeah, all social media had was anti-OKC flopping content. If you follow like NBA at any of the social media channels, it was not all, but most of the conversation was these floppers. They're the worst. Yeah. They stink. And you also kind of had when Wemby was like foul them hard, like he gave that directive. That also kind of permeated it. So that was where the conversation was for, at least for Instagram and Twitter, where I roam. So I would imagine that just gets copied and pasted over to TikTok or vice versa from TikTok to Instagram. But it was just less about it. There was nothing else really permeated the discussion, but OKC flops. The Spurs are here to foul them hard. And I mean, yes, but also no, because these two teams are great, and
they are.
I wish that could be more appreciated. I think it's going to be in this final series because I don't know, unless the Knicks are making shots from Broadway.
Yeah.
Like they did against the Cavaliers, this is going to be maybe a gentleman's sweep.
Nobody had this, not these two teams. There's two conversations around this series. And this is the one we can have right now. And then there's one on Wemby that we'll have at 10 o'clock. But the one that you can have briefly right now is this. You go back to the beginning of this season, San Antonio, New York. I think Barkley picked the Knicks on Inside the NBA at the start of the season, and he was kind of mocked for it. I don't even know if he was serious about it, but he nailed it, if that's the case. I saw that going around over the weekend. So the Spurs, though, arrived way faster than anybody thought. This is the youngest team in the league. I mean, Dylan Harper was playing at Rutgers last year. Wasn't that last year? He was at Rutgers?
Yeah.
For crying out loud, he's playing minutes in an NBA Western Conference final. They're just so far ahead of schedule of where anybody thought they were, and it's like, my God, is this going to be the start of something? And if you're OKC, you have to be going like, well, hold on a second. And they can still improve and get better and better and better and all that stuff. But I do kind of wonder if, like, the Chet Holmgren part of this, did Wemby kind of break him a little bit? And that part of it is interesting to me. But I'm excited for Spurs Knicks. I hope the Knicks can give it, if somehow the Knicks can get a game 3 and somehow steal one of these first two in San Antonio, and even if it goes gentleman's sweep like you're hoping that, or that you're projecting there, Reese, if the Knicks can get one of the first two, then you'll have a lights-out crowd for game 3.
Yeah, it has to. I think they have to get one of the first two. The New York Knicks do. It was, I think, Becky Hammon, former Spurs assistant, I think current Las Vegas Aces coach, that says you can't win an NBA title with a small superstar. Now, 6'2", for my perspective, isn't small. I think that's gigantic. So I'm not going to throw stones here, but it does feel that she's got a really good point, and obviously having the bona fides that she does from a basketball standpoint of, look at the last set of NBA champions. Like, they've all had guys that play way tall. I mean, that played a position. They play positionless, but they're all tall. They all have a player that's tall that can shoot from anywhere. New York, I don't know if they have an answer for Victor Wembanyama.
Isaiah Thomas is the last one.
Right.
89, 90? No, 90. 90. That's the last, him and Joe Dumars, and they were both small backcourt.
And then I hate that Draymond Green piggybacked off of that take, because Draymond sucks.
I think he
doesn't have an
aside. I think he's worn out his welcome before he even walked in the door a little bit.
Yeah, he just offers nothing original to the to basketball discussion.
Doesn't seem like
I do want to see the Wild Hogs Warriors. So if LeBron wants to go to Golden State and they just get all the old heads, that could be kind of fun next season. I think for the OKC Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander kind of pushed off a comment over what they need to do to improve from a roster standpoint. None of the teams that are in the NBA playoffs can just say, yeah, let's run this back next season. I don't even know. The Spurs probably are the only team that can say that.
Will.
Everybody else needs to figure it out from a roster standpoint, because now you have Victor Wembanyama, and the onus needs to be on how do you stop this?
I don't know if you can stop it, quite frankly, if he stays. I think health's the only thing that can probably stop him. I will say this. I think this is going to be a great series. I'm not one of those ones that thinks the Spurs are just going to roll through them. For one, nobody's giving the Knicks any shot at all in this, and that's usually a recipe for most of us being wrong. The other thing, I understand he's small. I'm not down Jalen Brunson. That dude has just continually gotten better and better and better, and he is a true alpha and a superstar on this Knicks team. And Cat's a really good player too. Like, this Knicks team is really good. They've slowly built to this. Now, I know the Spurs have just jumped right in, and this both of their first, but the Knicks have built for a couple years. Like, when they had Julius Randle, they were going towards this. Then they made the trade to bring Cat in. And they've taken steps every year. I'm not saying that this is a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. I think this is going to be a hell of a series.
The Knicks just need to make sure they have 5 people on the court who can shoot when Wemby's on the court. Because otherwise he just kind of stands in the middle of the key and disrupts everything. So you have to find somebody who can pull him out and make him relatively guard the line. And I know that seems crazy because the dude's got an 8-foot wingspan. Did you guys see him hug his whole team? He put the other 4 starters in his arms.
It's the biggest bear hug I've ever seen.
I tell you what, like next year, I'm going to make sure I go up to Cleveland when they play there and just fingers crossed that he plays. I got to see a human that big move like that in person. It's just something that you're going to have to see. Stanley Cup Final begins tomorrow, Golden Knights and Canes. All of these games will be on ABC. These are 8 o'clocks on ABC, the NBA Finals, and this would be your obligatory complaint about an 8:30 tip time on an NBA Finals. But that's what they're going to do. So they'll go in, and I guess that's the way it's always been. I'm thinking back when I was a kid, even growing up in Mountain Standard Time, it was always 6:30 or 7 when it started out there. So
I wish.
I guess it makes sense. Yeah, I'm telling you, Mountain's the best. It's where you want to be. Your NFL starts at 11. Your college football starts at 10 a.m. It's pretty good. West Coast gets a little dicey. That's a wake up, especially when you're younger. I mean, that's kind of just wake up and away you go. But Mountain Standard is I think probably where it's at. So Stanley Cup Final beginning tomorrow. You guys had the baseball this weekend as well, with the Reds dropping 2-3, Gardos dropping 2-3 to the Red Sox on that. And then, of course, it is Memorial Week, and we'll be out at Jack's Place all week long. So that is exciting stuff on that side of things. Coming up in 2 minutes from now, the NFL and a big deadline day that is today. The NFL open for business. Trades can happen. Will they? We will get to that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, or struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Don't wait for your AC to break down in the summer heat. Call Columbus Worthington Air for a $69 air conditioning tune-up. An AC tune-up can improve efficiency to help save money on energy bills and prevent costly breakdowns. Trust the local experts for reliable service 7 days a week, backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Proudly serving Columbus homeowners for 90 years and counting. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit CWAOhio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros. The pros who knows.
All right, here's what's up on a June 1st Monday edition of the program. And June 1st is important here because this is the day that NFL trades can become official in regard to the salary cap. Now, some of this is confusing. It's confusing to me, and I got to talk about this all the time. But what they do with a lot of these deals that they set up for these guys, they put post-June 1st designations on them so that the deals are more palatable to be traded. They do it for cap purposes as well, for guys to stick around. So one of the things that is very likely going to happen here in short order is the New England Patriots are going to acquire A.J. Brown from the Philadelphia Eagles. That is a deal that was reported. When was that, guys? March? That deal wasn't reported? That it was, and then it was kind of like kind of parsed back a little bit, and they pulled it back, but it still felt like, to me, it almost felt like, yeah, this is happening. Nobody know about it because we've already made this deal. And so I want to say it was Schefter kind of walked it back a little bit, or Rappaport, when they were both still competing. But the thinking is that the A.J. Brown deal to the New England Patriots will happen today. And when you play that game of, is this roster ready to win a championship, that's the type of deal that puts New England at the front of it, if indeed it does happen. Nothing yet on that. But that's something to pay attention to today. Go ahead, Reese.
I was just going to say, in not the middle of it all, but you had the head coach of one of the teams involved with an NFL newsbreaker, and that kind of overshadowed anything.
It did, yeah.
That was because I don't know if it took any legitimacy out of the story or out of the report, because it did back again in March when the thing was discussed.
Did Diana report it, Reese? First,
she didn't have it first, no, but she was one of those that was reporting on some specifics of what the deal could look like post June 1. And then once the pictures started coming out, it kind of blew everything else up. But we all kind of felt, I think, the royal we in the NFL was like, yeah, it's happening. Get to June 1, he'll be a New England Patriot.
Seems like it, yeah. And I would think it would be a big deal maker for the Patriots if all of a sudden he comes into the mix and you get Drake May, a big time weapon to add with those two backs, and now you're talking. And you play that game around the AFC and you say, all right, who's a contender and who isn't? And I think the AFC has never been more open than it is currently, because the unicorn is coming off an injury. And you don't know how long it's going to take for him to be all the way back. Now you hear that he's at Chiefs camp spinning it around, but they didn't make the playoffs and were struggling last year before he got hurt. So I think the AFC is wide open. I think the NFC is pretty loaded at the top, but I think it's pretty open there too. I mean, look at the Super Bowl we had last year, guys. We had Seattle and New England playing in the Super Bowl. You want to talk about an NBA Finals that nobody had Spurs-Knicks? Nobody had Eagles playing, or I'm sorry, the Seahawks playing the Patriots for the Super Bowl. So what does that do? Well, what it does is it makes NFL teams say, we're not that far off. And when you start saying we're not that far off, then what do you start to say? What can we do to put us over the top? Is there a move out there that can take us from win the division, win a round, to the Super Bowl? Is there that type of deal out there? Now, New England's already been in the Super Bowl, but if they get A.J. Brown, then they have a Super Bowl window that's a couple of years here where they have legitimate weapons for Drake May. The other name that is bandied about a lot this morning is a guy you know pretty well, Myles Garrett. So the Browns restructured Myles' contract this year. So after today, the Browns could split the $41 million in dead money that they'd incur from a Garrett trade over 2 seasons of their salary cap. If a trade occurred at any point after today, the Browns would carry 15.5 of dead money on their 2026 cap, taking a remaining 25.5 of dead money in 2027. Garrett's cap number is set to be 23.8, so a trade would create around $8 million in cap space. Garrett's cap number rises to almost $28 million in 2027, 20 and 30 in 2028. Couple of things on Myles. Number one, I do not believe for a second that anybody up there wants to trade Myles Garrett. I don't believe that at all. But I think you can also say, if you just listen to the comments of Todd Monken, that he has spoken to or has not spoken to Myles. He said that last week. Myles hasn't been around yet in terms of at the OTAs and those type of things. Is that something that's a big deal? Myles is never around. I can tell you that. He's got his own offseason, and when you're the NFL Defensive Player of the Year 2 years in a row, and you have this process that elicits this type of result, there's nobody up there who's too worried about him not being there or not. The question to me is almost more philosophical. If you're Andrew Berry, are you, I think this would be the real truth question that you'd like the answer to if you're a Browns fan. How do you view the 2026 Cleveland Browns? What's your expectation? If it is Deshaun Watson and he ends up winning the job, have you seen enough in camp juxtaposed to the weapons that you've added in the offseason? Do you believe in that offensive line? Do you believe in the weaponry now at wide receiver? Do you look around the AFC North and say, with a dominant defense, with this offense, with a healthy Quinshon Judkins, with weapons on the outside, we can make the playoffs in the AFC North? And if we trade Myles Garrett, we are exponentially further away from that. That's to me what Myles represents. He's that disruptive. He's Reggie White, Von Miller, that type of difference maker defensively. That's what he is. So he is somebody that can be the difference between a team being good to a team being great. What we've seen the last 2 seasons is that when you have just a dominant defense with just a dominant defensive player, it can only get you so far. Unless you have the quarterback, unless you can be competent offensively, unless you have weapons, you don't have to be great. The Seattle Seahawks had one weapon, truly one weapon that was elite, and that was Jackson Smith and Jigba. And they built everything else off of that. They had great running backs. Sam Darnold played incredibly clean. Their defense was elite, and they got a Super Bowl out of it. The Patriots really didn't have one elite weapon for Drake May, but they got an incredibly beneficial road to the Super Bowl, and away they go. So if you're Andrew Berry, if you're ownership in Cleveland, that's the conversation that I'd like to know the real answer to. How do you view your team? If you think that this offense and this new built offensive line and these weapons and Deshaun's playing well enough that you can make the playoffs in the AFC, then I don't know how you can trade Myles Garrett. Because if that's the case, then you basically have what you would think to be some version of a franchise quarterback already on your roster. So that's the conversation that I'd want to know the answer to. I don't think, as I said off the top, I don't think anybody up there wants to trade Myles. He's the face of the franchise. I mean, he's omnipresent in the operation.
He's the best defensive player to ever wear the uniform. He's on the Mount Rushmore, or I would say 9 of 10 Browns fans Mount Rushmore. He has an argument for best player in franchise history, certainly. It's time. And I think the opinion of a lot of Browns fans. Now, compensation is going to be the obvious key, but if they can get something back for them in terms of draft capital that extends not only to 2027, but maybe even 2028, or draft capital that extends past the first round of 2027, it's something where you look at the roster, to your point, and say, are we close losses or just losses? With Myles, they're going to be competitive, but they're still losing football games.
Yeah.
With draft compensation that can extend you 2 seasons, you can just have those losses and have your pick be closer to where you can maybe get that franchise quarterback, and then whatever compensation. The team that will trade for Myles will be this is our piece. We're winning a Super Bowl now that we have Myles Garrett. And so whatever the draft compensation is going to be late. Late first, late second, late couple firsts. Because that team's just going to go, and they're probably winning 10, 11, 12 games if you're adding the best defensive player in the league.
But with it, the interesting thing is, what do Andrew Berry and Todd Monken and everyone in Cleveland, as you said, what do they believe they are this year?
I think that's critical, Dick.
And I don't know, but I get the feeling they think they can be competitive. I get the feeling that they think Deshaun is going to give them quarterback play that they haven't had since he's gotten there and been hurt and all the run of things. Like, he showed that 6-game span where they went 5-1 with him. Mm-hmm. And I think they believe he's going to give them that, and they believe that they can be competitive here. So maybe they don't make the move, and I think the timing of it stinks because you're not going to get anything that's going to help you this year, probably. It's probably going to be mostly picks. Maybe you get a player back, but it's nowhere near the caliber of a Myles. So it's probably going to be something that's going to help you in the future. Mm-hmm. And if the Browns view themselves as competitive this year, I don't know if they're going to want to make a move.
I think that's why, to me, that's the whole thing. What are you? What do you believe you are? Right? So they've had almost 2 months of OTAs. And I understand they're OTAs, but what's it look like? I mean, I've been around this now 8-9 years with the Browns, and I've seen a lot of OTAs, and you can tell when it looks right and you can tell when it doesn't. And I can tell you right now, offensively, they have the most weaponry they've had probably since 2020. So that's Odell, Jarvis, Austin Hooper, David Njoku, a healthy Nick Chubb, Baker, that offensive line. This is the most weaponry they've had offensively in 6 seasons right now. And I do think that their weaponry is as good. In the North, I think the only weaponry that's maybe worse is and I know this is a lot on rookies, but I mean, Fannin, you figure him in too. I think they're right there with Baltimore, just barely behind Cincinnati in the AFC North in terms of just weapons offensively now. I think they're well ahead of Pittsburgh on weapons. So then it just becomes, okay, well, do you believe in the quarterback? And then how good does the defense need to be? And then you have to say, all right, if he was going to be dealt, where? And is it all picks, or is it players and picks? Like, what are the offers? Like, the teams that come to mind to me, anytime you talk about a deal like this, immediately I think of Philly, right? To me, I think of Dallas, Like I could see Jarrah doing this. I don't know what the give back would be with the Cowboys. They had 2 first-round picks this year. I don't think they have 2 next year. So I think of Dallas on this. It would be an AFC. It'd be an NFC operation. Would be my guess. Is what it would probably end up being. So that is something that is who's the other side of it. We flesh it out from the Browns' perspective. Okay, how do you view your roster? Are you close? Do you think you have a playoff team on your hands? Does Todd Monken believe he has a playoff team on his hands? Okay, fine. But what team feels like they're a pass rusher away from being a Super Bowl winner?
Could you imagine if the Cowboys in an offseason added Caleb Downs and Myles Garrett?
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking.
Quite the upgrade.
Other teams in that division have improved on a major defensively.
Yeah.
So
I just don't know what the give back from Dallas would be. To one of you guys made the point about these are going to be. I think you did, Reese. These are going to be picks in the 20s. If it's to Philly, it's going to be a pick in the 20s. So is it 3 ones? Like, is it a player in ones? Like, what does all of that look like? And I think everything you said about Myles is on point. I mean, I think at this point he is on the Mount Rushmore of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, I think he's headed in that direction and probably already there. He's already a gold jacket at this point. I mean, he could stop right now and he'd be a gold jacket. So that's a lot of gravity to that decision. But I think the only people who really know what that roster is or what they believe that roster is are Todd Monken and Andrew Berry and ownership. Those are that triumvirate has to decide how do they view the roster and where do they think they are in this version of the Cleveland Browns. And when you have that answered, then you can make a decision on trading the best player you've had since Joe Thomas. I mean, they went Joe Thomas to Myles Garrett on the roster. I mean, that's gold jacket to gold jacket. That's pretty cool after, a couple of decades where there were no Hall of Famers or nobody even close to the Hall of Fame that went through there. So something to watch, and we'll continue to monitor it throughout the day. Star-studded sideline over the weekend for the Aviators. The season goes in the books. Did it win? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. Or thepeople.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan.
That was the moment when I realized I got to do something. I was scheduled to go in for knee surgery, and for the pre-op, they do the blood work. It was determined that I was now type 2 diabetic and I was severely overweight. Years ago, I could cut back and lose weight, and I was finding it difficult to do that. 2 days into the Awaken 180 program, my daily glucose level went from 170 down to 61. 1 week into the program, I lost 10.5 pounds. That was the eye-opener that I knew this was the right thing for me. They teach you the lifestyle change and how to be smart. I just can't say enough good things about Awaken 180 and the positive effects it has on you. It has completely changed my life.
Thanks, Phil. Austin Ward here, and Phil wanted to share his Awaken 180 story for the same reasons I have for so many years now, to let others know there is a medication-free solution for weight loss. Find your results. at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
What John Smiley, Chairman and CEO, wants you to know about First Bank of Central Ohio.
Our competitive advantage is the number of years we've been in Central Ohio and the fact that we're able to make decisions here locally that make sense for the client. At the end of the day, it's the ability for us to say, okay, what can we do to make your banking easier for you?
Experience what it's like to be first at fbcentralohio.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, energy bills have been crazy as of late, which has had our phone ringing off the hook. Pella windows give you both a home makeover and often an energy bill makeover.
We hear that all the time at the other window place. We love the makeover. No, wait. We want a do-over. That's what they say. Is do-over and makeover the same thing?
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
High energy bills? Your HVAC system could be the reason. Save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with Columbus Worthington Air. Smart homeowners know an old air conditioner can cost you more every month. Don't let it drain your wallet. Upgrade to efficient, reliable comfort with payment options that fit your budget. Backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
The Fan is headed to the Memorial. Are you ready for 30 hours of live coverage? Oh, it's true, baby.
Sponsored by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. TheWaterworks.com.
The best Memorial coverage, The Fan.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
What's the weather outside? Who cares? Bakers and shorts. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, when you've been around a while, you learn a few things. I like to think I know a little bit about radio, but for pests like ants and termites, no, not for me. That's why I turned to my friends at Rose Pest Solution. Over 165 years of experience, they've mastered their craft. Nation's oldest family-owned pet control company. The pros from Rose protect Columbus homes and businesses with expert pest prevention and treatment. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com. Aviators closing out their inaugural season over the weekend. Star-studded cast on hand. Threes was there. Marcus Freeman was there. Notre Dame coach Tress was there as well. That's kind of a win. Cool to see. Always supporting Ted Gidd Jr. and the Aviators. It did not go well in the finale. They lose 42-27. They did finish up 3-2 at home this season. So season one is in the books. The UFL will now have its playoff that begins, and the Aviators will not be a part of this as they were bottom of table. Despite the record, is this a win?
I think
Was this season a win?
I think yesterday you got upwards of 10,000 people at Historic Crew Stadium for a late May spring football game. If I'm looking at attendance numbers that I have in front of me, the first game against the DC Defenders in week 2, 14,810. Week 4 and 5, they were over 8,000. And then week 9, their comeback win against the Birmingham Stallions, 91-27.
It's awesome.
You go 3-2 at home. You can provide momentum for next season. Certainly the stars were out for yesterday, and that helps everything. And as long as it's a fun environment with tickets that are relatively inexpensive for a family of 4 to go up to that place and see a game, you've got something serious momentum for next year.
I think it was a success, and I think that they will learn from this year too, and hopefully, and I know it's hard because former Buckeyes, a lot of times, if they're good enough, they're going to the pro. They're going to the NFL.
Yeah.
And the NFL teams want former Buckeyes. But if you can get some more Buckeye involvement with this, and it was great yesterday seeing Tress there and seeing threes. By the way, that little windbreaker or coat that Tress had on, that looked sharp. That might have been the best.
It did.
Might have been the best Aviators gear, best looking Aviators gear I've seen. But if you can get some more Buckeye involvement in it, a whole off season of them getting out in the community, getting to be known, working with the fans and promoting this, and then you work on the product a little bit, and it got better as the year went on. I think you have something here that could stick.
Yeah, you can't pull see you next season, guys. Like, this has to be, you've Got to do everything that you can if you're the UFL. If you're a friend of the program, Mike Rapoli, you have to be in the consciousness of your markets that aren't in the playoffs. And then after the playoffs end, you crown a UFL champion. You're continuously doing things to make us look, we'll come back. We'll be back for you guys.
That's the thing. I think. I mean, that's why I'm sure why they went Teddy Ginn Jr. and Cardale's involvement and all of that is that you have ambassadors who are here, because these rosters are going to be. You're not going to have the same roster every year. It's going to be a complete turnover. Year to year. Most of the guys who play in this league are just trying to get the NFL to give them a sniff. And one of the things that I've long said that I think for spring football to be a real success in this country, you just need the practice players from the NFL. You need some of these guys on loan. The problem is, and this was something I hadn't really considered until you start to think about how they intersect, those guys are all at OTAs. They're all at OTAs. So it's almost like, where is there a window for the UFL to play 10 games over 10 weeks that doesn't intersect with the NFL? Or does the NFL, because there's just no way, like, I just think of it from the Browns' perspective, even rookie minicamp, they had 53 guys there for rookie minicamp, 53 NFL players. Now, the draft picks are going to make the roster, and there might be one or two others. So what are you talking about? Not all the draft picks are going to make the roster, I guess. You're talking about maybe 5 to 10 guys out of 53 that are going to make an NFL roster. The other 40 plus are floating, and they're not playing in the UFL. So, like, if they're going to have that, if they're going to at some point have NFL participation, that calendar, the dreaded calendar conversation, needs to kind of be worked out between the NFL and the UFL too, if the NFL ever comes on board as like a partner. Because that to me is, you talked, because I think that's it too, Bake. I think this was how I felt this way about the old MLS, not MLS now. MLS now is a thriving, healthy, booming league, but 20 years ago it was not. And the thing that you kept coming back to as they were building the league was the American sports audience is used to watching the very best compete. All of our professional sports are the best in the world. Well, with the exception of our soccer, but everything else is the best in the world. And we're not easily fooled by substandard sport. And so there will be a group of folks. We had an email last week about the Aviators that we should talk about them a little bit more, that it's awesome. And I'm rooting for them as much as you can. There is a segment of the audience that's going to go because it's an awesome thing to do on a Friday or Saturday night and watch ball. There's a group. But for it to cross over, the quality of play needs to elevate a little bit. It just needs to get a little bit better. And I think that's going to be the threshold that takes it from, because I'm just doing the math, it feels like it averaged about 10,000, something like that. You said there was a 14 in there, you had a 12, you had an 8. So maybe it's around 8,000, something like that. For that to get to 20, then you need the quality to pop up. And then success. Those two things. Win, quality, now you're getting 20, now you got a healthy league. And probably the best example of a niche league that thrived at one point until people got probably a little too greedy was the old Arena Football League. I mean, that was a thriving league at one point. That had a national television audience. There were 20,000 people that would go to these arenas and watch indoor football. So there's an appetite for it. And I think your attendance numbers there, Reese, speak to the appetite for it here. It's just keep the momentum going. Next year is going to be crucial for them. Go ahead, Big.
Just two things on the UFL here in general. The season is over for the Aviators, but there will be another UFL game here in town next Sunday. The Orlando Storms playoff game. Their stadium is unavailable, so they're going to play that game Sunday at 3 here at historic Crew Stadium. That might be a tough sell because nobody knows the teams as much, and it's the Memorial. But
they couldn't find a place in Florida.
They just probably wanted to stay. They probably wanted to stay in a stadium that was currently hosting them and setting up. So they're playing here. The other thing, I was watching a little bit of the Aviators last night. It was on in the background while I was working on some softball stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what their rule is on review. But it's literally just Mike Pereira live on TV talking to the TV people, show me this angle, and then he just makes the decision. And there was a touchdown for Louisville last night where they called him down short of the line, and he probably scored, but Pereira's going through it, and he's like, the ball's in his right hand. You can't really see the right hand. You can't tell, but I think it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. And they reversed the call, and I'm like, that's not a great process. Like, I love the transparency, but when the transparency's that's not great.
That's probably not a win. I like if it's expedited. That I'm for. Expedite all of it. That's a win. Second hour of but yeah, I think next year, it's going to be, this is a really big off season for them in terms of staying top of mind for the people that love it and then trying to grow beyond it. So hopefully there's a little bit of momentum here. Jake Diebler having a press conference up on campus. We'll continue to monitor that and the arrival of Wemby and seeing greatness in its infancy. We will get to all of that in the second hour. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Care is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Relax and let Kroger Delivery handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items. Then carefully pack your order in our refrigerated trucks. And our cool trucks keep your food fresh right to your door. Fresh groceries your way with Kroger Delivery. And right now, you can save $20 on your first delivery order. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Are you ready to tackle those home projects? With a home equity loan from CME Federal Credit Union, you get an introductory 3.99% APR for 12 months to make those upgrades happen. From patios to paint jobs, your home's next chapter starts at CME. Visit CMEFCU.org.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I moved back to Columbus with my beautiful wife and our two amazing daughters and our golden retriever, Harley. This community brought me back because this is where I feel connected. Where my daughters were born, this is my home. And that is to say, I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
We are the Dillos. We are from Northern Kentucky.
We have 2 kids, 5 dogs, 6 horses.
And a truck. It's really important to stay connected being in a rural area.
The biggest thing with switching over to T-Mobile's 5G home internet was the blazing speeds and the reliability.
One day we had nothing and next day we had everything.
Smoking fast internet.
Yeah.
We've got cell phone service and we've got our home internet all on the same plan. and it ends up being about $50 a month cheaper than before.
We saved a lot of money switching to T-Mobile.
At T-Mobile, bundle 4 unlimited phone lines with reliable 5G home internet and save up to $1,000 a year. You'll get fast internet, great coverage, and keep more money in your pocket every month.
Actual customers compensated for their time. Delivered via 5G cellular network. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks. Not available in some areas. Compared to regular rates after third line free on Experience Beyond plan with internet bundle discount via monthly bill credits and auto pay discount. Credits stop if you cancel or change plans.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Bring your landscape back to life with an unbeatable deal from Ohio Mulch. 5 bags of premium mulch for just $10. You choose from absolute black, brown, or red to make your flowers pop and your curb appeal shine. Visit ohiomulch.com to find a location near you.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The 50th Memorial Tournament begins this week. World number 1 Scotty Scheffler looks for the three-peat. He's the betting favorite entering the week. Golden Bear Pro-Ams on Wednesday. Peyton Manning, Larry Fitzgerald, and country music star Luke Bryan will be playing in that. Rothman and Ice will be live from the Halfway House on Wednesday from 12 to 3. We'll be live from Muirfield Thursday morning, rolling through the weekend. In baseball, the Reds dropped 2-3 over the weekend to the Braves. Ellie De La Cruz left yesterday's 6-4 win with a tight hamstring. He'll get an MRI sometime this morning. Cincinnati hosts Kansas City tonight at 7:10. As for the Guardians, Cleveland dropped 2 of 3 at home to the Red Sox. Guardians have Monday off. They'll play the Yankees tomorrow night in New York, and the NBA Finals start Tuesday in San Antonio. The Spurs host the Knicks tomorrow night at 8. This update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union, voted best credit union for the past 8 years by CBUS Top Picks. Visit bmifcu.org to learn more. Breaking sports news on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Monday. Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com, going to join us on the NBA in about 28 minutes from now. Right now in Lubbock, Texas, you have the Brendan Sorsby hearing, which is taking place. So for those just catching up on this, Brendan Sorsby, former Cincinnati quarterback, apple of the eye of everybody who is in the need of a quarterback last year in the transfer portal, lands at Texas Tech. Reportedly $6 million or thereabouts is the number that is reported on what the ask was on his services. He chose Texas Tech over LSU. Now, probably, when did this first start to come out? Was this February, March, where we first started to get wind of this incredible amount of gambling that he had done? The documents are now well out there. Over the weekend, it was revealed that he bet on Indiana football while he was a player at Indiana. Long story short, I see no scenario where any judge, even a hometown judge, is going to put some sort of an injunction in place that's going to allow him to play college football next year. And I've long thought for the past month, once some of these documents started to come out, that this was really about the supplemental draft, and it was about him putting himself in position with a change in designation of eligibility to be eligible for a supplemental draft in the NFL, which would take place in July. Now, we haven't had an NFL draft, I think, since 2019. We have not had a quarterback taken in an NFL supplemental draft since our guy Terrell Pryor. And so it's been a while. And Pryor, I think, was a third-round pick, supplemental third-round pick. I do think that Sorsby will be a 2, and I do think that from his perspective, that's what this is about. Obviously, if you're Texas Tech, you're fighting like heck to try to retain his eligibility, because without it, you have a team that spent a lot of money in the portal that is very chesty. By the way, had immediate results last year in that they made the playoff and now want to go back for a second straight season to the playoff and have invested accordingly, but now without a quarterback of this level of talent. So my hunch is what will happen today will be that he has continued to be ruled ineligible. I mean, he bet on Indiana while he played at Indiana. Like that's the Joe Jackson. That's Pete Rose. Like I just don't see any scenario where there's coming back from this in college sports. So my hunch is it will be denied, and then he will go supplemental route and will be picked there. And I think he could go as high as a second-round pick because I think he does have first-round talent, according to folks I've talked to around the league. So this is something major to monitor in that sense, because if somehow this judge in Lubbock, Texas rules and gives an injunction and gives him eligibility, then what you would have, I think, would be the final nail in the coffin of any sort of regulation in college football. There's not much left, guys. There really isn't. Like, there's not many rules left. Like, if this one gets looked past, I mean, this is a cardinal sin from an NCAA standpoint, from a sports standpoint. If this one is blown past and you get an injunction, then Wild West doesn't do it justice. That doesn't even do it justice. So I think that there will be some sanity in this, and there are consequences for actions, and I do think he will stay ineligible and will end up in the supplemental draft. If that is the case, and it's the second part, and he's ruled ineligible, then all of a sudden you have to start saying to yourself, who in the league is willing to risk a second or a third to secure this guy's talents? And then it's the teams that we talk about all the time. I mean, is it Pittsburgh? Is it Philly? Is it... And then that's basically, for those not familiar, that's essentially a blind raffle. You don't know what anybody else is bidding. That ain't it. You don't know what they're bidding. You bid what you are willing to give, and then whoever bids the most gets him. So that's a fascinating thing that's happening today. And those are the two options for it.
Yeah, the last supplemental draft 2019, Josh Gordon went in the second round of the supplemental draft back in 2012. So he's the last highest in terms of teams giving up high draft capital for players in the supplemental thing. The whole thing's procedural. It would be the worst possible thing the NCAA could ever have happen to them. And that's saying a lot if the judge does rule in favor of Tech and Sorsby. But it's all, to me, procedural to get him eligible for the supplemental draft with all the T's dotted and the I's crossed. Here's everything. The NCAA said I'm ineligible. Let's go with the supplemental route. There was stuff on Friday that had court documents, part of this hearing, that said he continued to gamble after transferring from Cincinnati to Texas Tech back in December.
Yeah.
So anybody thinking, and I know there's the Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub that asks about Sorsby and his NCAA career. It is over.
Has to be, I think.
Yeah.
I just don't. If it's not, then I guess I don't know what would stop anybody from doing anything. I don't know what would stop players from. I mean, there just would be no rules at all.
I do look to what the NFL would do for a punishment standpoint or a suspension standpoint, how that's going to look once he is in the supplemental draft and once a team takes a flyer on him, because I think that would be the part of the review process for any team interested in Sorsby who has first-round NFL talent grades. If we take a second or we send a second to you, for you, do we lose you for how much of the upcoming season? And maybe that's not even a team would not even worry about that because you're a future project anyway.
Reese, I think every team that would be interested in grabbing him with a second or a third or whatever, I think every team that would be willing to do that and would be interested to do that would do so with the understanding that he is not going to contribute next season. Now, I don't think he's going to get a 17-game suspension, but I think it'll be 4 to 6. I think it could be 8. I think that it will be a substantial penalty. This is one thing I can tell you. The National Football League does not mess with gambling from its players or people who are employees of a National Football League team. I can tell you that firsthand. They do not mess with it. So I think it will be a strict punishment for him. I don't see any scenario where he'd be eligible right away. But if you were a team like Dallas or Pittsburgh, let's just use Pittsburgh. They're perfect. They got Rodgers for 1 year. They've got Aller, they've got Will, and now all of a sudden you could put this guy in there, and you could say, look, here's 3 swings at our next franchise quarterback. Hit the one that strikes your fancy. That's pretty simple from their perspective. So I think of them right away as a team that would make a ton of sense because they already have Rodgers in the fold. Will and Drew can back him up this year, and then you could have kind of a fight for that spot coming up next year. And by the way, it probably tells you all you need to know, unfortunately for our guy, of the fact that the Steelers are running it back with Rodgers, that they obviously don't believe Will is ready for that gig, and obviously they just drafted Drew. So who knows on that? But those are the type of teams. I think a Dallas would make a ton of sense. Honestly, the one that would made the most sense would have been the Rams before they drafted Ty Simpson, because they could really, you got 2 more years of Stafford. You could survive an entire year suspension with Sorsby and be fine with it. Go ahead, Beck.
So with this Sorsby thing, if the judge allows him to go back to the NCAA, that's just absolutely ridiculous. He should not be allowed to. His college eligibility should be forfeited now. With that being said, I also don't believe the NFL should be able to suspend him. I think that's ridiculous too. And I know there's precedent there, but if you're going to draft him and invite him into your league, he didn't do this while it was on your watch. So I think if he would get suspended for that, that's ridiculous. Now, now that this is all in courts, Brendan Sorsby, let's go ahead and give you the punishments for gambling on your own team, like these guys are going through with the NBA stuff and all of that. Let's deal with this, and let's also deal with your underage gambling, because that's illegal too. So now you need to go, since you threw this all in the court system, you should get full, the court system should be able to go after you for everything you've done wrong here that's against the law as well too. So betting on your own team, strike against you. Whatever penalties they deem fine, whatever it is, if it's probation, jail time, fines, whatever, you should get that. And then also, you and the people that allowed you to gamble at an underage need to face the law now too. You've thrown this in the court system, so now you should get all of it.
Yeah, I mean, that part's fascinating. I haven't even considered what would be his legal punishments for breaking the law. Are these felonies? Is it jail time? I mean, I don't think he broke a law betting on his own team. I think that's a rule. I think he broke a law being an underage bettor. That's where he broke the law. So then what's the punishment for that, and how does it all sync up? So the proceedings are underway in Lubbock. Sorsby is not present. Which is weird. I agree. I think he's pushing the chips in and saying, I'll see you in the supplemental draft. I'm sure, to me, this feels like a Texas Tech Hail Mary. I think Sorsby's already gotten what he wished, which is a change in designation of eligibility. He knows. His people have to know. He's just trying to get to a supplemental draft so he can continue on his career. And by the way, I don't think that mistakes of a 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old addict, and he is a gambling addict, obviously, anybody who bets like this, I think we would all categorize as that. I don't think his whole life shouldn't end because of this. Every opportunity to play football shouldn't end because of this, but there are consequences, and we'll see what those consequences are. But something to monitor, certainly. Some coaching changes on the side of Buckeye basketball. I'll get you the updates on that in terms of Jake Diebler filling out his staff. In addition to that, the arrival of Wemby in a big, big way. That's all coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued. Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate, or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
That's the sound of Ellie De La Cruz stealing third. That's the sound of you stealing third. Right now at UDF, buy any 2 bottled beverages and get the third one free with Ellie Steals Third. Now at United Dairy Farmers. Some restrictions may apply.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can give to a child.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
When you are a member of Tel-Ohio, your money works harder for you. Lock in 4% APY on a 24-month CD and watch your savings grow with a credit union built for its members. Visit telohio.org to learn more.
Federally insured by NCUA. Membership open to anyone in Ohio. Restrictions apply.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and prevent storm damage. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Hey, I'm Ruben. My band and I have a new song we're getting ready to record this weekend. I'm also a tow truck driver. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I get to go home at the end of the day and see my bandmates.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Good news. Jack has personally invited the fan to the Memorial Tournament, and we're broadcasting 30 hours of live content, and we'll try not to embarrass ourselves.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine for us in the forecast today, and as we go into the afternoon, a nice mix of sun and clouds with highs in the upper 70s. For tonight, mostly cloudy, becoming clear overnight with lows in the 50s, and then for Tuesday, we'll see plenty of sunshine in the forecast with highs in the upper 70s and winds breezy out of the northeast. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And as always, we are proudly sponsored and brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Settler, your true jeweler for nearly 8 decades. Sawmill, Easton, they will take care of you. Jake Diebler with some announcements here at a press conference that started about 18 minutes ago. I think probably the headliner for most Buckeye fans is going to be the gentleman who is your program assistant, and that is Wild Bill Buford is returning as the new program assistant at Ohio State. So William Buford is back. Toledo Whitmer, I believe, and just an absolute stud from Jump Street here. So he will join a staff that is quite robust. Jamal Walker also promoted to associate head coach. So your standard assistant coaches then would be Dave Dickerson, who returns, Brian Walsh, Mike Wells, who comes on, two-time NBA champion, Luke Simons comes on, Terrence Stiles still your recruiting coordinator, William Buford now your program assistant, the great Dave Egelhoff still director of basketball ops, Dave Richardson, strength and communications as well. So Nick Kellogg, hey, there you go. Special K's son Nick is NIL relations coordinator, and then Robbie Rucky video coordinator. So the staff is complete at Ohio State for this season. William Buford is one of my favorite players. Really fun player to watch. Great mid-range game. When he would get it going, that team, the makeup of that team was so fun. With the way that they had Sully in the middle, and then they had all of these versatile players kind of around him with Leidy and Buford and Deebs, and then Kraft at point. Just a fun team to watch, and I'm excited to see William Buford back in the fold at Ohio State. So that's very, very good news there, and he was fun to watch, man. Really good in the with Carmen's crew too in the basketball tournament through the years. Really good with that group. Favorite William Buford moment? Boy, the one that hits is the one that was almost. The Kentucky shot.
The shot that didn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one.
Can that be a favorite moment if it's just like not what you wanted?
It's the one that jumps to everybody's mind.
Image, yeah.
We had this conversation yesterday on the call-in show because we were talking about favorite teams.
Yeah.
And it's like, can one of your favorite teams of all time be a team that hasn't won a championship? Well,
yes.
When your teams are the Blue Jackets, the Browns, and Buckeye basketball, I guess, that can be the case. Buford, by the way, Libby High School. Up in Toledo. But
okay, very good.
Diebler had a bunch of comments today, too, that Patrick Murphy has on his Twitter, if you want to see those. But he talked about the Buckeyes, said they want to play faster and bigger at every spot this year. Diebler said that the way Mobley Jr. and Amari Bynum played at the end of last season made him feel good about those two being the top players for this season. He was asked about Michigan winning the national championship, if that provided more motivation, and he said that the team doesn't need any more motivation to get to where they want to go. So he says that they're already looking that way. And then he talked about a transitional period for Anthony Thompson this year. So
that one I think is going to fall hollow.
I do too.
I think that falls hollow. I mean, that ain't fair to the kid. It's not fair to. Mostly, it's not fair to the kid.
But I also think.
But it's part of the doing business. I mean, he's a professional player at this point. So no, he. If you say there's going to be a transitional phase, and I understand Jake should say that, and Jake should want that for him, but also just consider this. Think about the way that Darren Peterson was covered at Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's what you sign up for. That's the deal.
And I would also say, like Diebler talking about he's comfortable with Mobley Jr. and Bynum being your two best players. If Anthony Thompson isn't your best player this year, you're definitely not getting where you want to go. To me,
agree.
You're not making the jump.
Yeah,
this is the transitional phase for Thompson.
It's got to be right now.
This couple months.
Yeah. Like you think about DeBonsa, Peterson, those kids at the top that are kids that are going to be drafted in the NBA draft here at the end of the month. That's who he is. I mean, he's a 5-star. He's a big kid. I've seen him play. Incredible wingspan. Really sweet shooter. He's a bit of a quiet kid. He's incredibly kind. I've seen him run like youth basketball camps and sign autographs and take 1 million pictures and all of these things. Like he's awesome kid. But look, this is part of it now. This is the world that we live in, where if you are a 5-star, can't miss, big time compensated 7 figures type of guy, then there's going to be scrutiny, pressure, and all the things that come with it. That's the Draper line. That's what the money's for, right? And so I don't think in terms of on court, there's not going to be much time for that. I think it's something that'll he's going to have to be their best player. I agree with you, Beck. If they're going to make a run in March, then he needs to be their best player, and Mobley and Bynum are going to be complementary to him. That doesn't mean necessarily from a leadership standpoint, those guys can eat all that up. But in terms of like best player, it needs to be him.
It's the conversation we had with Bruce last year. Like, he can be your leader.
Yeah.
He can be the guy you rely on in key moments, but in terms of output, it's got to come elsewhere.
Yeah, it does. We'll have a little bit of an extended conversation with Chris Fedor on this in 6 minutes, but as you're watching the arrival of Victor Wembanyama in full, and I think when you get to the NBA Finals, that's in full. As I'm watching on Saturday night, I'm kind of resigned to the fact of the only thing that could derail a run of 5 to 6 years, and them and OKC are going to go head back and forth for the next 5 to 6 years. They just are the way the rosters are built. But I think the only thing that could derail this is health. I really don't see anything else. the way that they've built this roster, I mean, they quite literally hit the lottery with Wembanyama, but even just the roster around him, it's young, it's under team control, it's hungry. It's almost like it was put together with such purpose, like everything that they've done in San Antonio, going back all these years from R.C. Buford to Popovich, from Robinson to Duncan to Kawhi to all of it. They've had all of these championships and all of these very different teams, but they all are built with such purpose. This one was built with such purpose, and they hit the lottery with Wembanyama, and you watch him play, and you just say, I just don't see anything stopping them anytime soon. We've never had a human like this. And the idea that we got him doing this in basketball while Ohtani's doing what he's doing in baseball, isn't that a wonderful thing? That sports can still amaze? I mean, you feel like we've seen it all at this point. We've seen all of it. We've seen Tiger, the Williams sisters, Phelps, Ledecky, Bolt, like all of this crazy stuff. I mean, we're all old enough to have seen Kobe, and for some of you perhaps not, but for those of us that are of a certain age, Jordan. We've seen Brady, and we've seen all of this stuff. And now we got two more that are happening. And I do kind of feel like that's what happened on Saturday, was like, I have arrived in full. And we've now entered the Wembanyama stage. And they can list him at 7'4" all they want. I don't see any scenario how he's not 7. He looks 7'6". It's hard for me to believe he's only 2 inches taller than Chet Holmgren.
And he certainly made Holmgren look small.
Yeah.
He makes everybody look small, but he played Holmgren small.
Yeah.
In the Western Conference Finals, certainly in that deciding Game 7. I just hope, and what I would like to say to everybody out there is, you don't need to compare Wembanyama to anybody. I know we love to do that.
You can't with him.
You cannot do it in terms of a player, in terms of what he means on the court, in terms of what he means to his team, in terms of San Antonio, and in terms of the greatest of all time. He's 22 years old.
You can't. And I was thinking about when you said, I mean, 7'4" is crazy anyway, but you're saying 7'6", and I'm thinking of guys in the past that played in the league that were that big, like Sean Bradley or Manute Bol, or who was the guy for the Celtics a couple years? Was it Bol? That was really
there was
tall?
Bol, Manute's son, who played at Oregon. No, you're talking about Taco Fall.
Yeah, Taco Fall. That's the one. Like, even Yao Ming, who was 7'4", like, Wemby's nothing like any of those guys. All those guys were slow, and I don't want to say unathletic, because I don't think they were unathletic, but it wasn't this. I mean, Wemby just looks like a normal player out there, except he's a whole head and shoulders taller than everybody.
When the boys, years ago, when they would get NBA 2K, they would do create a player. And I think the highest they let you go on that is like 7'9", or maybe it's 8 feet, something like that. And NBC would create himself as like 8 feet tall. And I would say, why in the hell would you want to? No one's 8 feet tall. Why would you do that? He's like, Dad, I'm unstoppable. I'm like, yeah, I understand you're unstoppable.
Where's the fun in that?
You're a 99 shooter. You're a 99 defense. You basically created a predator, is what you've done. And it's not realistic. Wembanyama's an avatar. I mean, there is no human comparison for somebody who's this big and this athletic and this gifted and this young. And so the only thing that, to me, that would ever slow it at all would just be his health. That's the only thing. Now, I've not seen him play in person. Our next guest has. Chris Fedor are going to join us in 2 minutes on the NBA Finals, the Cavaliers offseason ahead. It's all coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Some things shouldn't change. The smell of coffee on a Saturday morning, a handshake that actually means something, a neighbor you can count on. For more than 30 years, Newman Roofing has been a part of this community, and this community has been a part of us. We're family-owned, locally operated, and proud to serve the same neighborhoods we live in ourselves. Every roof we install is built to last. Every home we step into, we treat like our own. Every family we serve, we treat with respect. That's the Newman way. And along the way, more than 1,200 homeowners have trusted us enough to leave 5-star reviews. To us, that says one thing. Treating people right never goes out of style, because excellent customer service isn't a thing of the past. It's our promise to keep doing things the right way. 3 decades, one family, a whole lot of neighbors who have become friends. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online today at newmanroofing.com.
Ready to move? Open an Ohio Homebuyer Plus account at CME Federal Credit Union and earn 6.5% APY for up to 5 years. Ready to buy? Lock in a 5/1 ARM mortgage at just 5% APR. Learn more at CMEFCU.org.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Bo Bishop here. If you've been thinking about an RV, now is the time at RCD RV. Through June 27th, every RV purchase comes with a $500 ODNR gift card for your next Ohio State Park getaway. Visit RCD RV or shop now at rcdrv.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
They've all been paid by the Cleveland Browns. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time to head out on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline conversation with our basketball buddy, Chris Fedor, covers the Cavs and the NBA at Cleveland.com, and he joins us there. Buddy, thank you so much for taking the time. I've not seen Wemby play in person. You have. How do you describe it for the people who haven't?
It doesn't make any sense. That's the best way that I can describe it. It doesn't. Guys his size, Bo, they shouldn't be able to move like he moves. Guys his size, they shouldn't be able to shoot with the touch that he shoots with. He physically does not make sense. I think LeBron nailed it when he came up with the alien nickname. Mm-hmm. It's as appropriate as you can possibly get for a nickname, because when you look at him, you would think, okay, gangly dude, no coordination, no chance that he can be so smooth, no chance that he can come off of screens, no chance that he can handle it that kind of way. He is uniquely him. He is one of one. We will never see anybody else like him.
I couldn't agree. I just said in the previous segment, like, to me, the only thing that would derail it, and I certainly don't wish for this because I think this is greatness unlike anything potentially we've seen just because of the size and stuff. It's just health. Yeah. Just because guys that tall. And so, like, San Antonio arriving this quickly, like, nobody thought they'd be here this quickly. Maybe you did. Nobody I heard from thought that they'd be playing for a finals this year. Certainly it was coming, but not probably this year. In terms of the build of, actually, this is where I want to go with this. I'm watching this thing on Saturday, and I watched a lot of that series, probably more of a series that didn't involve the Cavaliers in a long, long time. And there's a helplessness that falls over you, because it's like, who else in the league can even punch with these two? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, is everybody else just kind of fighting for the scraps that are going to be left over as these two duke it out over the next several years?
I'll say this. I would not discount New York in this upcoming series. They have been through a lot of playoff wars together as a group. They do have an MVP-type player in Jalen Brunson. Karl-Anthony Towns can stretch it out to the three-point line. They've got all these versatile wings. They're well-coached. Mike Brown's been in multiple finals. So there are things that you would think that New York has on its side going into this series. And the way that they're playing, they've played as well as any team in the NBA. Now, perspective is required when you get into the playoffs because of the road that you travel, the opponents that you play against, circumstances that are on your side, all that kind of stuff. But seeing them in person and seeing the way that they completely overmatched the Cavs, I won't discount them completely. I won't. But it does feel like the top teams in the Western Conference are just on a different tier than these other teams in the Eastern Conference. And Oklahoma City and San Antonio playing 7 games the way that they did in the Western Conference Finals, both that felt like NBA Finals type stuff, right? It felt like the two best teams in the NBA. And it's going to be hard to deal with them. Now, Oklahoma City has things that they've got to figure out financially, but San Antonio, the way that they're constructed with all their youth, all their athleticism, the freedom that they have to continue to build out their roster because all these guys are on team-friendly rookie-scale contracts, I think there are a lot of teams around the NBA that are saying, what are we supposed to do against these kinds of teams? And in some ways, Bo, it feels very familiar to me to when Golden State was a dynasty, when they were winning 70-plus games, and then, oh, by the way, they just went out and added Kevin Durant. You had teams around that time that were like, what are we supposed to do with that? Like, how do we counter that kind of move? And you really can't. There's not a lot that can be done to deal with everything that San Antonio has going for it, including the one entity in the NBA that no team is going to have an answer for, which is Wemby.
So they literally hit the lottery to build their roster. The Knicks went a very different way. How did James Dolan finally get this right?
I think he hired the right people. I'll start there, Bo. Their front office has been overhauled in recent years. They do have somebody that was with the Cavs front office who is seen as like a strategical genius. His name is Brock Aller. He has created all these different things that he has done to, quote unquote, manipulate the salary cap, and the NBA in return has put rules in place to prevent him from doing those kinds of things. So they have smart people running the organization. And I think it also starts with they have Jalen Brunson, who is one of the most unselfish superstars in the entire NBA. Like, he was willing at a time, Bo, where he could have cashed in a big, big way. He was willing to take less money so that the Knicks could make all these other moves that they needed to make to build out their roster. Not many guys are willing to do that in today's NBA. So the kind of contract that Jalen Brunson is on, he over exceeds that value with what he brings both on the court and from a leadership standpoint. And I also think the other thing that has happened is they've been bold. They've been aggressive. They've made these win-now moves where they're like, you know what? Forget the draft picks. Forget the young players. We're going to try and capitalize on this particular championship window that we're in with this particular guy, Jalen Brunson. So when you have the guy and you believe in the guy and you think he's good enough to do it, then you say, we're going to ignore some long-term thinking, and we're going to focus more on all-in moves. We're going to focus more on win-now pieces, and that's what they did with OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. So it was a combination of the smart people that they brought in to run it, but it's also, identifying the right kinds of pieces that you need around your superstar player in Jalen Brunson and making sure that you're willing to give up what it would cost in order to get those pieces.
Talking to our great friend Chris Fedor, Cleveland Cavaliers beat writer, NBA beat writer at Cleveland.com, one of the smartest basketball minds you're ever going to talk to. Buddy, the team that you talk about and cover on a daily basis, to me, they reached the expectation that I had. At the beginning of the year, I said, get to an Eastern Conference final, that's a win. You're not entitled championships. You're not entitled Eastern Conference championships. I'm not going to change the marker as the season went along, and that's what I had them at. To me, they reached what my expectation was. How did it land for you as someone who covers them every day? How did it land for the fan base up there?
Normally when a team makes that run that you're talking about and getting to the conference finals, that is an accomplishment. That is something that you celebrate. That is something that you feel good about. But I just don't know how the Cavs could feel good about their lack of competitiveness once they got to the conference finals. And that's what it comes down to. But when you're running an organization, you have to have an honest assessment of who you are, what you accomplished, the road that you traveled in order to get there. And if you're not going to answer all the different questions honestly, then you're doing yourself and the organization a disservice. So, yes, it's great that they beat Toronto and they showed a level of character and mental toughness to win a battle-tested 7-game series against a physically tough team. And it's great that they knocked off the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference and the Detroit Pistons, and they did it by, winning a Game 7 in the fashion that they did. But when they played against a team that was as talented as them or more talented than them, what happened? They looked completely overmatched. It was one of the most lopsided series that we've seen in NBA playoff history. So, yes, you can be happy about the fact that you got to the conference finals, and you can celebrate that. But you can also be honest about what happened once you got to the conference finals. And quite frankly, if the existential question is, are we good enough? Can we compete for a championship? There's just no way, given everything that happened in that series against New York, that the Cavs can sit here and say, we are closer to a championship, or we can win a championship as currently constructed. Because if they're having an honest assessment of what happened in that series, one team looked significantly better. One team looked significantly more complete. One team looked like they had a significant coaching edge. So those are the things that the Cavs are going to have to figure out. It's not something where you say, okay, we got to the conference finals, and it doesn't matter how we played once we got there. No, it does matter how you played once you got there, because those are the caliber teams that you're going to try and get past as you continue to maximize this particular championship window that you believe as an organization that you're currently in.
All right, buddy, I'll get you out of here on this one. Is there a move that they can make? Because Dan will do it. Is there anything out there that puts them to that level? Because what I watched Saturday, I don't see it. You're smarter than me. Is there something out there?
Well, it's hard to say that there's something out there that can put them in the category of San Antonio and Oklahoma City. But is there a move that could put them closer and make them a little bit more competitive and probably have a different kind of result than what they had in the conference finals where they were swept by New York? Yeah, I do. But I think this is what we come to here, Bo. Kobe Altman has made aggressive moves when he has encountered problems or perceived problems with the construction of the roster. Mm-hmm. So you have to give him credit for that, right? He was willing to take a big swing on Donovan Mitchell a couple of years ago. He was willing to take the swing at the trade deadline this past year with James Harden. But the decision that is facing him right now is the toughest decision that he's ever had as somebody who is running an organization. And it's what does he do with Evan Mobley? Because there's a problem with the construction of this roster. They don't have a player that can be the best team on a championship team. They don't. Mm-hmm. There's enough evidence that says Donovan Mitchell's not it. There's also enough evidence currently, that's all we can go on currently, that Evan Mobley's not ready for that. So what do? Can you find somebody that can be the best team on a championship, the best player on a championship team? And the answer is Giannis is out there. He is available. Milwaukee is looking for the best potential Giannis-related package. But that would require for the Cavs trading away Evan Mobley, who they believe can be an MVP-type player someday, who they believe can be, a franchise cornerstone. It's just he's not ready for that right now. So are you going to go all in? You did the James Harden move, and that was a big step. Are you willing to take that next step and sacrifice your future and your security blanket and your protection from rebuild land for a guy like Giannis, who is 31 years old, who's dealing with leg injuries recently, who may only be a one-year rental? It's a big, big, big risk for somebody like Kobe Altman and this organization. But if the goal, and if you have an understanding that you're not good enough right now and you want to compete for a championship, Evan Mobley for Giannis gets you a lot closer to San Antonio and Oklahoma City. And by the way, if there's somebody who may be built in a lab to deal with Wemby in any way that you can possibly deal with Wemby, Giannis is the answer for a lot of teams, including the Cavs, right?
Yeah. All right. Going to be a fun summer for you, buddy. That's a lot going on. Appreciate you as always, my friend.
You got it, Bo. Anytime. Enjoy the summer.
You too, buddy. There he goes. Chris Fedor covers the Cavs in the NBA at Cleveland.com. We get Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Welcome back to What Is That Thing? Today our guest is
Dr. Melvin Parsbrucker. I invented the sump pump.
Ah, the sump pump. I've heard Apex pros talk about those.
Yes, the pros who knows are true experts in sump pumpology.
So, Doctor, what is that thing?
You see, a sump pump is a device designed to pump out sump.
Sump?
For the pump.
You say the pumps?
Sump.
Sump. And what exactly is sump?
It's what gets pumped.
I want to be sure I'm hearing you right. Sump?
Sump.
And that's what gets
pumped. Look, maybe Apex Pros can explain it at your level.
Well, Apex Pros says sump pumps are made to keep groundwater from accumulating and flooding your basement, especially this time of year with the big spring rains and the uniquely shallow water table in and around Franklin County. A simple sump pump can protect your home from tens of thousands of dollars in damage.
It's made to sump the pump.
Of course.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Turn up the heat on your savings and earn up to 3.75% APY until April 2027 with a high-rate money market account during Kemba Financial Credit Union's limited-time Summer Boost Special. This high-earning, no-nonsense account will put your cash to work while you're living your best summer. Offer expires July 31st, 2026. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Advantage status and $5,000 minimum balance required to obtain APY. Max $1 million. APY equals annual percentage yield. Federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community's stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up, or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can give to a child.
This is your job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Man once shaved Timmy's leg live on the air. Tune in weekdays at 3 to see what else they'll shave. Wait, what else they'll shave? Who the hell wants to listen to that?
Common Man and Timmy, smooth as silk.
Okay, The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Late last week, Texas Tech mega booster Cody Campbell joined the Pat McAfee Show and was asked if there's a chance the Red Raiders could play the Texas Longhorns week 1 of the 2026 college football season.
You know, you and I talk a lot about Texas, and but I don't know if you know the difference between bulls and steers. Do you know the difference?
So the bulls, you know, they kind of go trotting around looking, you know. And
Well, there's an important physical difference, and this is a family show, so I'm not going to lay it out to you. But I think a lot of your viewers know, and you maybe have some of your guys look it up.
Okay.
But Bevo, the Longhorns mascot, is a steer, and it's become very clear that there are quite a few steers down in Austin, and not very many bulls. And let me tell you something: when Sark opened his mouth and he picked a fight with a bunch of West Texas boys, he should have known that he better get ready to pack a lunch, because we're ready to strap it on.
Hell yeah.
We're ready to spot the ball, and we're ready to go. So September 3rd, September 5th, you name the place, we'll be there, and we'll go at it.
Thing or not a thing?
Incredible thing. The difference between a bull and a steer is testicles. That's the difference. By the way, I did not know Bevo was sans those. I was unaware of that. I guess I've seen him, but I guess I never looked to see if indeed he was. It makes sense, because if he was a bull, he would become much more ill-tempered much quicker. Steers are more docile, for sure. So that's your biology on that. So here's the thing I would say to Cody Campbell, though, if I'm Sark. This is the Texas Tech schedule. So he said he'd buy out their home game and Texas's home game to play the University of Texas in week 1. This is Texas Tech's schedule the rest of the way. At Oregon State, Houston at home, Sam Houston State, at Colorado, Arizona State at home, at Cincinnati, Arizona, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Baylor, TCU. On that list, there is not a single team that made the playoff last season. Now, they made it, but not a single opponent made it last season, right? Do I have that right? I think I have that right. Conversely, the Texas Longhorns schedule, in fact, you probably go 2 seasons. Arizona State made it 2 years ago. If you take it, and now take a look at Texas's schedule, so take Texas State out, that's what they open with. Ohio State, UT San Antonio, at Tennessee, Oklahoma, Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, at LSU, Arkansas, Texas A&M. Texas has 4 teams that made the playoff last year on their schedule. These two things are not the same. So it's fun bluster for him. I get it. But these are not the same thing. So adding a 5th playoff team for Texas to play from a year ago versus adding your first playoff team from a year ago, which is what Texas Tech would be doing, those are 2 very different things.
So when I heard Cody Campbell say this is all I could think of.
We don't have a cow. We have a bull.
From the old movie Kingpin.
You can't milk a bull. Well, you can, but it's different.
Different kind of milking, Bo.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I love this from Cody Campbell. I love the chestiness. Mm-hmm. It's also, you've never won anything, so I don't know why you're being chesty. But when you're a billionaire and you're buying this roster, I guess you can do whatever you want. I'd love to see it. And I have no sympathy for Texas. Last year, I was like, well, if Texas wouldn't have played Ohio State. No, if they wouldn't have lost to 4-8 Florida, they would have been in the college football playoff. It had nothing to do with Ohio State. It's all about not beating a team in Florida that you should have. But you're right. This is apples and oranges comparison. I'd kind of like to see them do it, and Texas just lay the smack down on them and tell them, hey, you're still a little bit of ways here. But I love the chestiness, and I love him trying, and it's not going to happen. It definitely wouldn't happen week 1. The only way you could do it is week 0, and I don't think Texas is going to do that anyway before Ohio State. And as you mentioned, their schedule's way tougher than Texas Tech. But I love the bravado here from Cody Campbell.
Me too.
Speaking before their 9-1 loss to the Dodgers Sunday, Phillies first baseman Bryce Harper said he wasn't surprised by the league's salary cap pitch, but expressed concern over what could happen to the sport if the 2027 season's compromised because of it. Quote, we're coming from two different areas, but we both have to understand our game's in a great position right now to succeed, and we can't lose that momentum. We can't lose that momentum as players. We can't lose that momentum as owners. So wherever we're at, wherever they're coming with, whatever we're coming with, you have to come to an agreement before any of that happens because there's other things to do. It's not like 94 where there was nothing else to do. It's not just like, oh, baseball's here. No, there's a lot of other things to do than just watch baseball, end quote. So last week you had the Players Association advancing the current economic system or trying to advance the current economic system, including increases to the minimum salary and a higher luxury tax threshold, while the league pitched a strict cap and floor system similar to that to the NHL and a 50-50 revenue split with the players. Thing or not a thing?
Well, I think he's right. And I do think he's pretty astute of him to understand the differences in how we consume entertainment in 1994 versus now in 2026. There's a lot more options. And I think if you go away, I had a really smart boss, one of the smartest bosses I ever had here at Channel 10, Tom Griesdorn, tell me once, when you lose an audience, it takes twice as much effort to get it back. What you've already had to maintain, if you lose it, it takes twice as much to get it back. And I think that that's true here, too. If all of a sudden you don't play a season, are people going to look up and being like, you're teetering anyway. Yeah, there's momentum in these individual markets, but nationally, there's next to none. Like, you can't lose it. And the thing I hate it for is, like, all the historical stuff. Like, I don't want to lose a season of Ohtani. I don't want to lose a season of greatness. Like, come on, get this thing sorted out. We're a long way from there being any sort of strike or lockout, but you can feel it coming.
This is a correct thing from Bryce Harper. And I know it's hard for the players to give money back and put a cap on their money and whatnot and all of that, but baseball has been dwindling in numbers for a long time. They don't really have a great TV contract or any of that because nobody's really watching. So it's a very slippery slope for baseball right now. It's never totally going to go away. But you've been passed by the NFL. You've been passed by college football. I'd say the NBA is probably past you. And guess what? The National Hockey League has a way better TV deal than you. The UFL's TV deal is way better than yours. So it's a very slippery slope for baseball right now. They cannot lose a season.
I agree. I think it's critical time. Final hour of the week of the Monday edition. Coming up next, Austin Ward in about 35 minutes from now. We will blitz the weekend next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet store. This is the time. You want to be outside. You need to be outside. But do you really want to be on your feet if they're killing you? That's why I went to the Good Feet store. I stressed about knowing I would be standing at a multiple-hour event or even playing in a golf tourney where I knew I would be walking. But when I got fitted for my personal arch supports, it changed the game for me in a great way. I honestly feel much better supported and aligned, and it's taken the pressure off my lower back. I could feel the difference instantly in my test walk at the store. Just a solid foundation right from the get-go. And now, every Every day, everything feels a little better. Their experts will personally fit you like they did me. And do what I did. Take the test walk around the store and you'll feel the difference. I've learned it all starts with the feet. And when you get the proper support, everything feels better. You can make an appointment online or just stop in the Good Feet store. They're in Grove City or on Polaris Parkway in Westerville. Or get started right now at goodfeet.com.
Craving the O?
Now it comes to you. For loyal fans, the O on Lane is now offering the O on the Go catering delivery. Perfect for the office or any group. Order boxed lunches or group catering right now at theoonlane.com. The O on the Go, delivered fresh, delivered easy.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
That was the moment when I realized I got to do something. I was scheduled to go in for knee surgery, and for the pre-op, they do the blood work. It was determined that I was now type 2 diabetic and I was severely overweight. Years ago, I could cut back and lose weight, and I was finding it difficult to do that. 2 days into the Awaken 180 program, my daily glucose level went from 170 down to 61. 1 week into the program, I lost 10.5 pounds. That was the eye-opener that I knew this was the right thing for me. They teach you the lifestyle change and how to be smart. I just can't say enough good things about Awaken 180 and the positive effects it has on you. It has completely changed my life.
Thanks, Phil. Austin Ward here, and Phil wanted to share his Awaken 180 story for the same reasons I have for so many years now, to let others know there is a medication-free solution for weight loss. Find your results at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. Only Tiger Woods successfully defended a defense of the Memorial Tournament. Woods nailed the three-peat from 99 through 2001. World number one Scottie Scheffler looks to join Woods with a three-peat at Muirfield Village in Dublin this week as the 50th anniversary of the Memorial Tournament kicks off Thursday. Rothman and Ice will broadcast live on Wednesday from the Halfway House for the Golden Bear Pro-Am from 12 to 3. In baseball Monday, the Reds host the Royals at 7:10. No word on Ellie De La Cruz, who underwent an MRI this morning on hamstring tightness that caused him to leave early in Sunday's 6-4 win over the Braves. In college hoops, Jake Diebler's made some coaching additions at Ohio State. Jamal Walker steps up as Ohio State's new associate head coach. Walker's been on the staff since 2024. Former Buckeye William Buford joins Ohio State as a program assistant. Basketball Buckeyes open the season in Salt Lake, playing BYU November 2nd. The Fan's Austin Ward was in attendance for Diebler's presser this morning. He'll join Bo Bishop coming up in 30 minutes right here on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a Monday edition of the program. Austin Ward, about 28 minutes from now. Time now, though, to blitz that weekend. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present a weekend sports blitz.
Sponsored by Metal Supermarkets. Visit metalsupermarkets.com/Columbus for all your metal needs.
All right, let's start here with you, Bake. I believe I had that. What did you have?
I believe I had that it would be a lot of driving this weekend for me, and boy, was it. And I'm not someone who ever usually complains about time in a car. It doesn't bother me. My mom would never fly, so we always drove everywhere as a kid. But I will say I got home Friday night. It was probably about 10:30. There was no, sitting down, turning on the TV, this or that. It was straight upstairs to the bed, and I was probably out in about 5 minutes. So it was a lot going on, a lot of driving, and I was pretty tired after.
Believe I have the government will not come to save you, college athletics. The further we get away from the introduction of that Protect College Sports Act introduced last week, the more that everybody's in agreement that this thing will just be a talking point and then go nowhere. And this time next year, we will have yet another piece of legislation trying to do what they've been trying to do for 20 years. And it's been 40 years of inaction by the only body that could have really done anything, and that's the NCAA. So I guess it's good that we keep having the conversation, but I don't think this is breaking any news. The government will not save the sports.
No, not at all. I believe I had this. I said it last week that no one appreciates warm weather quite like Ohioans do. Even sometimes trying to talk themselves into semi-warm weather being warm weather. My wife is so exhausted of all of it that we were having dinner at 7:30 on Saturday night. It was in the low 60s and kind of breezy as the sun was going down, like borderline cold. Like we played after golf and we went and we ate at the club. Borderline cold. And I'm like, honey, maybe we just take this inside. And she's like, no, I'm prepared. We're eating outside. So the boys have blankets around their legs. She's in like a fleece jacket just to like prove that we could handle it. And trying to make it almost warmer than it was. And it was not. Now, it's going to get warmer now. But God, do we appreciate a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of warmth when we can get it, even if it's not quite as warm as we're pretending it is. Did not have that. What did you not have, Bake?
I did not have that the number one seed in the NCAA baseball tournament, the UCLA Bruins, wouldn't make it to the Super Regional. They almost went 0-2. On Saturday, they had a come-from-behind win over Virginia Tech to make it to Sunday, where they were walked off in the 10th inning by St. Mary's. UCLA was 51-6 heading into the NCAA tournament. They went 1-2 on their home field this past weekend.
So St. Mary's won that regional?
No,
so
they ended up losing to Cal Poly, so Cal Poly won.
Oh, my gosh. So Cal Poly won that regional, so they'll be on the road in the super regional round. That's wild.
I didn't have the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm glad I didn't. I mean, I guess I'm glad I was wrong in this instance. I thought it was going to take 4 games from Victor Wembanyama to be awesome, and he was, especially in Game 7. And they are, and I think it's for the good of the league that it's Spurs-Knicks in this NBA Finals. So good job out of you, San Antonio.
Yeah, I didn't have that I'd watch so much of an NBA playoff series. I actually ended up watching a lot of the Spurs and Knicks. Not all like from tip to final buzzer, but it was on in the background pretty much every game of all 7. If I was available, I was watching a little bit, and it was really entertaining and high-level hoops. So I did not have that I'd be that locked into it as I was. Player who impressed, Bick?
So, for me, it was Stephen Castle. Way back at the beginning of this series, Reese said something that I thought was really, really smart. And he said it was a bad thing for the San Antonio Spurs that Victor Wembanyama had a game like that in Game 1, and they still had to go to overtime. And I was like, you know what? He's right. And Wembanyama was great in this series, but he didn't have historically great games every game that they won here. But Stephen Castle gave him a running mate, and it helped that De'Aaron Fox came back and was in at the end of this series. But Castle gave him a consistent number 2, so Wemby didn't have to ride alone.
Yeah, he did. Reese.
The city of Columbus. Almost Well, 10,705 of you were at Historic Crew Stadium yesterday for the UFL Aviators season finale, including the Lieutenant Governor, the current head coach of Notre Dame, and the linebackers coach at Ohio State. Good job out, everybody. And it was a perfect weekend to do so. And I'll extend the player who impressed for Columbus to this weekend because it's going to be a great turnout for the Memorial.
Yeah, certainly. That's a lock. I'm going to go Serena Williams. She's coming back. She's going to come back and play tennis. Maybe it's doubles, maybe it's singles. She's 44 years of age. She is a mom. She is the greatest women's tennis player of all time, and she's going to come back. And I say good for you. Time is the only commodity that truly matters. And if you can still compete or want to still compete and you still want it to be your why, then why the hell not? I'm not somebody who says, oh, don't let us see you on your downturn. No, forget it. Who cares? If you can play, play. And if she can contend. It doesn't matter if she wins any more Wimbledon. She's done all of that stuff. This is just about someone enjoying their life. So good job out of you, Serena. Player who disappointed, Bake.
To me, it's Team Canada at the World Hockey Championships. And I'm not saying that they should have won because I know the World Hockey Championships, you don't always have your best players because a lot of them are competing in the Stanley Cup playoffs still when these rosters are made. And it was an Olympic year, so some of these guys might have wanted some time off. But to not even medal, they lost yesterday to Norway in the bronze medal game. And Jet Greaves played in goal, and he had the loss in these last two. But Jet Greaves was great in this tournament. But the rest of Team Canada, they're supposed to be, that's their game, hockey. Yeah. You're supposed to have the most depth. You should be able to overcome this. The Finns won. They didn't have Sebastian Aho. Bad job out of Canada.
Major League Baseball disappointed. Not only did you have a non-serious proposal for the Players Association last week, but the fact that the Sacramento Athletics are playing in a minor league ballpark. Yesterday they lost to the Yankees 13-8. The Yankees put 13 runs on Oakland/Sacramento in the third. You're playing in a minor league ballpark.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
So yesterday, I make the call, need some new tires on the whip, and so I call my guys at Costco. Can you get me in? Yep, they got me in. So they got me in at 3:15, which is awesome. Tires were in. Let's go. Let's get them put on. 3:15. Away we go. So they said I'd take about an hour. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. It's cool. So in the meantime, we go and play golf. We go have dinner. I never hear back from them. Well, my car, you do not need the key to drive. It can be run by the app. Okay? So as we're coming back from dinner, I geo-track on the app. I can see where the car is, and I see it's parked in the spot at Costco. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna pick it up. Like, I'm just gonna drive it home. There's no reason to sit outside. If the tires are on it, I'm gonna drive it home. And I've already paid for everything, so it's nothing to see there. So I go get the car. I've not heard from them. In their eyes, wouldn't it just be that my car is missing? Like, they have the key. They still have the key and the paperwork. They've been open for an hour and 10 minutes. Wouldn't somebody be like, hey, man, where's the Tesla? Where is that?
It's a little alarming.
Yeah. Like, it's in my garage, so it's fine. But I was, like, expecting, like, the call. Like, hey, man, did you pick this up? Nothing yet. Hour and 15 minutes. Now I'll go in there in an hour or so, and they'll pick up the key. It'll all be fine. But I thought I would have heard from them by now. Not yet. And they're my guys, but not yet. Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week, Beck.
I'm guessing if I asked both of you if you could name one Tampa Bay Rays player, it might be hard. If I asked you to name two, I'm guessing
Rocco
maybe
Baldelli.
You couldn't.
Carl Crawford.
The good old days. The Tampa Bay Rays are in first place in the American League East. They have the third best record in baseball behind the Atlanta Braves and Bo's plucky Dodgers.
Plucky little Dodgers.
Those two teams are both over the proposed ceiling in the latest MLB salary cap proposal. The Tampa Bay Rays are $68 million under the proposed floor. Kevin Cash is working some magic down in Tampa.
Why is it in that sport that obviously very clearly just throwing money at it doesn't work? Ask the Mets. Like, it's money, but it's also intellect. And of course, who's running the Dodgers? The guy who used to run the Rays. So you have to have that and the money, and then you get what the plucky little Dodgers are. Go ahead, Reese.
Dan Campbell's mine on Friday after Lions OTA. He said about OTAs themselves, a lot of guys have done really well for 2 days in pajamas. I'm done with the hype of a pajama party in May. Adding, quote, nobody's going to win a job in the spring. I'm not hyping anybody up, not in May, end quote. I love Dan Campbell.
He's good. He's easy to like. Finally, for me, as I mentioned off the top, all of the boys won their lacrosse championship. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8s. It takes a village to do that, but there have to be really cool guys at the top that get you to love the sport and put you in a position to succeed. And we had that in spades. Pat O'Loughlin, Owen O'Donnell, Mike Marapiece did a great job with the boys. And so thank you to those guys for incredible seasons for those guys as they closed out their I guess, community lacrosse, and now we'll be on to club lacrosse all summer long. Speaking of summer, the unofficial start of summer is here. It is Memorial Week, kids. 50th annual Memorial. We'll get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Hey, it's Anthony. Did you know that 1 in 4 men over 40 have low testosterone? You can get your levels back with Low T Center. They tailor their TRT to every man to make sure his levels are where they need to be. Go to fixmylowt.com and book your free testosterone test.
The weather in Central Ohio just got better, so why shouldn't your loan rate? CME Federal Credit Union wants to try to beat your current loan rate by 2% on autos and toys. Plus, enjoy no payments for 90 days on car loans and no payments for 60 days on motorcycles, boats, and more. With car rates as low as 4.99% APR and toy rates starting at 6.5% APR, it's the perfect time to save. Apply today at cmefcu.org.
Terms apply. Minimum floor rates 4.99% APR cars, 6.50% APR other vehicles. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. If your air conditioner never seems to turn off, worn-out windows could be the culprit. Broken seals and old frames let your cool air escape, and with summer just getting started, it's only going to get hotter. Upgrade your house's windows now during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale. Imagine replacing all your windows and getting half of them for free. Plus, you could even get them with no money down and no monthly payment or interest for 2 years. Built with top-quality materials, insulated glass, and precision seals, Window Nation's windows fit perfectly and lock in the air. Upgrade today and your home will stay cooler this summer and warmer in the winter. Plus, your home stays comfortable year-round, and you could even see lower energy bills the first month. They're so good, Window Nation offers a lifetime warranty, and they're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. Sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com to book a consultation. That's windownation.com. Window Nation, a proud partner of Wounded Warrior Project.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can gift to a child.
This is your job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Hey folks, it's game day and the betting's gonna be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right, you gotta pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot. but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine for us in the forecast today, and as we go into the afternoon, a nice mix of sun and clouds with highs in the upper 70s. For tonight, mostly cloudy, becoming clear overnight with lows in the 50s, and then for Tuesday, we'll see plenty of sunshine in the forecast with highs in the upper 70s and winds breezy out of the northeast. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, it's sneaking up on us, kids. Join us for the Fan 5K presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. 5K run, 1 mile walk. It is Saturday, June 20th at Otterbein. Some of your favorite fan personalities will be there. Brother Bone, Nephew Tyvis, Man, Timmy, Reese, Adam King, Nicole Sharon will be involved. All the people you know and love. Every participant gets a finisher's medal, a race shirt, free photos, and awesome gifts from Logan Services. The Fans 5K is presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. Sign up today at 971therace.com. Oh, that's it, kids. This is about as good a forecast as I can recall for the Memorial Tournament when you look out. Obviously, could be dodging a little bit on the weekend, but it's certainly not overwhelming. This is the 50th anniversary. Is it the 50th annual, or because this is the 51st Memorial?
It's the 51st tournament celebrating 50 years.
50 years. Why? I don't know why we do that. The 50th one's the 50th one, right?
So we can make 2 years of it, Bo. We had the 50th tournament last year, and now we're celebrating 50 years.
50 years of the Memorial Tournament. I guess 50 years in the books is what you're celebrating, is that we've accomplished that. We've accomplished 50 years in the books. It's one of my favorite times. We'll talk about it all week long. It is a seminal part of my life, being someone who covers sports in this town for nearly 20 years now. Like, this is just what you do. You go to Jack's Place. It feels like the unofficial start of summer in Central Ohio, and away you go. The town comes out, and it's about as good a time as can be. I cannot imagine. Reese, I'm not sure if you were a golf fan. Bake, I know you were a golf fan growing up, but I don't know that you need to be a golf fan to adore the Memorial Tournament. I don't think you need to at all. I think it's a gorgeous walk in nature. But the idea that Jack brought this to your town where you guys grew up, it's a remarkable thing, truly.
Yeah, you can speak from experience. Growing up not being a golf fan, still a casual golf fan, you still did the Memorial Tournament because it was an incredible event to go to. And someone like me who likes being outside and takes every opportunity to be outside when the weather's great, this is that. And it's no coincidence that the rise in areas like Bridge Park and the explosion of population in Central Ohio, and it's all kind of gone parallel with the Memorial and kind of how that's grown into now one of golf's signature events. That people come in from all over the place to see. People come in from everywhere to play in. Like, I'm sure, I don't know if you could inject Bryson DeChambeau with truth serum and be like, hey, you can't play the Memorial. Are you missing that? He'd probably want to be here for it.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. This is an incredible field, by the way. Go ahead, Beck.
I think you're right, Reese, but I think he's pretty good with the money.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
I think when I think growing up here in golfing since I was 5 years old, I think of the impact that the Memorial and having Muirfield there in the tournament had on the golf community here in Central Ohio, and how many great courses I have been able to play throughout my life because of how many courses came here, I feel like, or were around here because of that. And because this town became golf crazy because you had Jack Nicklaus from here in the Memorial Tournament. And I just think of all, and some of them have gone by the wayside over the years, but I think of all of the great courses that I've been able to play because of that. And that's that when I think of the Memorial Tournament, that's the impact I think of. Also, obviously, what Dublin has become, because Dublin, and a lot of Central Ohio has grown, but Dublin was one of the first to grow because of that.
I think that you hit on something that we don't talk about enough, and that is the golf course boom and that happened here, and the incredible tie that I have to assumed. I mean, that'd be a hell of a story to figure out how many golf courses opened in Central Ohio from the late 70s, early 80s into the mid 80s, and then golf developments into the 90s. How many developed after the first playing of the Memorial Tournament, and how many elite? I mean, I don't want to name names because there's too many in there. I got too many friends that work at some of them and that are members. I'm not going to name names, but I don't think it is a stretch to say that there are between 10 and 15 great golf courses in Central Ohio. That might be low. I mean, it might be more than that or great. And when I say great, I'm talking about like you could host U.S. Open qualifiers at these places. I think there's like a dozen of those, maybe more. And then there's a second rung of really good golf courses. There's incredible public golf in this town. It is. I remember when I first moved here and I looked at the top 100 golf courses in the world, and there were 4 in Central Ohio. I went, what the hell is going on that allows for 4 of the top 100 golf courses to be in Central Ohio? It doesn't even make sense. Like normally like that's, Long Island. Okay, fine. Those are really old. Shinnecock, Wingfoot, all of that stuff. Philly, those type of massive population places with all sorts of wealth. And we've become that, but I don't think anybody would mistake Columbus for New York or Philly. We're not that size yet. Maybe someday you get there. But the golf was of that type. And I think that's probably a direct tie to Jack.
And you talk about the U.S. Open qualifiers that are going to happen. Yeah, I don't know where they are this year in this town, but I think, you mentioned all of them that Scioto has held U.S. Open qualifiers and obviously bigger tournaments.
Brookside, Kinsale, Wedgwood.
Yes.
I mean, you could do 1,000. There's
of them.
The Lakes. I mean, there's so many that are all legitimate and that are all there. And I have to imagine, and you guys, but neither one of you know a Columbus without the Memorial Tournament.
Correct.
You don't. So it's all you know. It's the only thing that you know. And for a great many of our audience, it's all that they know is that once a year used to be in late May, now early June, the best players in the world show up in your backyard.
That's actually weird to think about, Bo.
Yeah.
A Columbus without a Memorial Tournament and I've never even thought about that, and I've never even thought to ask about that. Like, what was it like when this wasn't here?
I'm going to go you a step further. For me, somebody who didn't grow up here and had never been here before I moved here, okay? When I think of Columbus, Ohio, I think of two things. I thought of the Ohio State Buckeyes, and then the second thing I thought of was Tiger Woods winning a tournament in Columbus, Ohio. A lot. That's what I thought of. I didn't think of the Blue Jackets. I didn't think of the state capitol. I didn't think of the crew. I thought of in terms of things that crossed over into the national lexicon, it was Ohio State football, clearly. And then the next thing was there's a really big golf tournament in Columbus, Ohio, that Jack Nicklaus is from there, and Tiger Woods wins it a lot. Before I moved here, that was what I knew of it. Was that. And this field, Rory's back this week. This is awesome. This is going to be an incredible field of golf. And Pro-Am is on Wednesday. AR will be out there. Matty Ice AR will be getting no one's going to interfere with AR in his interviews. Let him do his work.
He'll be chasing him down.
I mean, it's fascinating to watch him walk up and down the course, trying to. And he's last of a dying breed, trying to get on-course interviews with some of the biggest names in sport in the world.
Don't ever dispute the talent it takes to pull that off, because it is very easy for those guys to say no. Yeah, I'm good. AR doesn't give him the chance. He walks. This is a little bit of lesson for the kids. I'm sure he still does it this way. He walks up rolling, What I mean by that, tape is rolling as he's walking up, so that there's no chance. So when he says you got a second, there's no real chance for them to say no. That's veteran.
I don't even think he asked if they have a second. He just asked a question.
Yeah, just goes. Yeah, no, aces it. So they'll be out there on Wednesday. We'll be out there on Thursday, and it's a tradition unlike any other around here, certainly. Austin Ward is at Jake Dealer's availability. I did have one question for Austin on that. We'll do some football coming up with him as well in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Working your way through that home projects list, that means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your air conditioner or furnace. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain issues? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing problems? Call the Waterworks. HVAC breakdowns? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted and certified plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Basketball and hockey, they are heating up. And the best place to catch every big shot is Twin Peaks. Enjoy scratch-made favorites, legendary wings, and 29-degree draft beer with wall-to-wall TVs. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Introducing UDF's new Ice Cream Quakes flavors for summer. Get a sugar rush with cotton candy crackle. Try something crunchy and creamy with peanuts and caramel corn. Feel a chili lime kick with mango chili tango. Or go for a summer favorite with peachy cobbler. UDF Summer Ice Cream Quakes. Only at United Dairy Farmers for a limited time.
Common Man here. Join me June 20th for the Common Man Mile at this year's Fan 5K in Westerville. Get signed up at 971therace.com.
The 97.1 The Fan 5K is presented by Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, and the Common Man Mile is sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions. Rose Pest Solutions has been protecting Columbus homes and businesses for over 165 years. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com.
Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Indeed he is, and he joins on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Hey there, buddy. Let's do something we rarely do. Let's start with basketball. You were at the Jake Diebler availability, Wild Bill Buford back in the mix. That pleases me to a great deal. Anything else jump out to you in terms of Jake's availability this morning?
Yeah, it was great to be over there. I haven't, as you mentioned, you and I don't have a lot of hoops conversations on these Mondays, and I don't spend a ton of time over in that building, although I would like to. I think that, when you think about the tone of that conversation from Jake Diebler, the excitement that he's feeling, I wouldn't say that they have, addressed every single need that possibly exists for that program, but I do feel like the momentum is going in the right direction. I know that just making the tournament can't be the primary objective and a mission accomplished for him, but he knows that. I think you look at some of the moves here, not just with bringing back Will Buford, but the hires with Mike Wells, the activity that they had with the versatility in the transfer portal. Like, he covered a lot of bases. We talked with Diebler for 45 minutes this morning, and so we covered a lot of ground. But I think some of the most critical pieces of this conversation going into 2026-27 for him is we get so excited about additions, transfer portal, signing a 5-star McDonald's All-American, that's a big deal too. But keeping guys like Mari Bynum and Junior Mobley, the retention piece is what really drives the program that we talk the most about, the football program. It shouldn't be taken for granted. It's just as critical for basketball and for Jake Diebler, because if those guys, which they were free agents like everybody else, had been in the transfer portal, they would have been among the most coveted players in the country. So keeping them in Columbus is a big deal. Doesn't mean that they're doing it for free or that it was cheap, but those are the investments that you have to make if you're going to build a program that can compete in the top of the Big Ten and get past that first weekend of the NCAA tournament. So I sense, some of that momentum. I can understand why there are good vibes for Diebler. I think it's always important when you have that influence from former players. Now it's not just Terrence Styles, but you've got William Buford doing that as well. So we'll see what all of that means. It is just June 1st, so we probably won't be having a lot of other basketball conversations until maybe January or February. But I think that there are a lot of things that are worth discussing there, and Jake pretty much covered them all.
Here's the deal. The onus is on them for you and I to talk about them in November.
No doubt.
It's not on us. That's the thing with this business is if you're good, then you get discussed. Now, obviously, football's football. I'm not saying that. But I was here, and I think you got here just as the tail end of it, but I was here when they were preseason number 1 in the country. And I'm going to tell you, you talked about them and you paid attention to their games during the week and that type of thing. So that's part of it. And to that end, the one thing that I thought was interesting was his comments about Anthony Thompson. So I've met Anthony Thompson. The boys have done a couple of basketball camps, up here that he's been involved with. Quiet kid, really gifted, incredible wingspan, all that stuff. You mentioned, though, the cost of roster retention. Well, the cost of getting him was extreme, too. And this is the thing that's tricky because, a grace period, okay, a little one, but it probably should be right now. He's a professional basketball player. And you saw the scrutiny that Darren Peterson had at Kansas. I assume that there was probably some for A.J. DeBonsa and the rest of those guys as well. This is now part of it, that for them to be great, he needs to be their best player.
He does, and that's a difficult proposition, to walk, to describe, to understand, because Jake Diebler sort of looked at that and was like, yeah, everything that you've heard about him is true, but he is also a true freshman, and there's going to be steps along the way, progress that is made by the time you get to the end of June, the end of July, what some of those preseason practices look like, then a differentiator between November and the first day of 2027, January 1. He's probably not in a position to come in and be LeBron. Nobody other than LeBron is really going to do that. So I think that's also why the retention piece and having veteran players like Junie and Bynum around him is critical, because when you're talking about Anthony Thompson, he does elevate the ceiling for the Buckeyes, but he cannot do that by himself. Few players anywhere are going to be as transcendent as a LeBron or a Carmelo Anthony, and even you saw that with A.J. DeBonsa a year ago. This is going to take some time, most likely, and by that time that you and I get to late January and February, he's going to need to be playing like one of the best players in the Big Ten if we're going to be discussing the potential for Ohio State to be a Sweet 16 caliber team or beyond. So, that's why I think some of the stuff with the coaching staff, the support staff that Jake Diebler was getting into is so critical, because, that applies to everyone on the roster. But when you have someone, a special someone, with the tools that this kid is bringing to the program, you can't waste it, because you might only have it for 7 or 8 months.
No doubt. Speaking of recruiting, when did this become peak recruiting season? I know it's been a couple years, but my goodness, what a weekend for Ohio State in terms of visits. And I know that these summer windows are big ones. How did this change so dramatically from the Ohio State perspective that this is mostly being done now?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of factors, a lot of different rules, a lot of transition over the years of what you could and couldn't do in terms of being on the road, which visits count, how many officials you can take. They've changed that over time, as they always do, and it's almost impossible to track and keep up with. But even before some of that shift, what Ohio State, what Mark Pantoni, what Ryan Day really wanted to do was actually spend time with these players. It's more important than it has ever been to establish relationships, understand the rules of engagement, not just the financial piece, although that plays into this as well, outlining, what the practices look like, getting to know the coaches, getting to know Columbus, getting to know the opportunities that are elsewhere. And a lot of that, Bo, frankly, you cannot do if you're taking an official visit during the season. Yes, I know that used to be the thing to talk about. You got to go experience the horseshoe game day atmosphere is going to set apart this program or that program. But, it is about all the other things in terms of development, support, practice schedules. You're seeing even that, trickle over to March and April visits where the coaches might have more time. On a fall Saturday, they are trying to win a game. And on a fall Sunday, they're trying to win the next game. It is not for them about the recruiting and rolling out the red carpet. They don't have time for that. Their interests are pulled in the direction where they have to win and lose games. And as Ryan Day has grown fond of saying, the winning is what gives you the opportunity to come back and do it again and develop that next wave of recruits. Like, if he doesn't take care of that part, none of the rest is going to matter. So I think shifting this into, a late May weekend, there's going to be, I think it's maybe the weekend of the 12th where there's the number is much larger than the 4 official visitors that Ohio State had over here, which also I think was a bit unique, Bo, is that they had 2 offensive players, 2 defensive players, and then they could basically flood the zone and give a ton of attention and let these guys know everything that's possible. All of these guys are top of the board prospects for Ohio State. They wanted to make sure that they could maximize their time with them, and that is something that they can do in May and June that they frankly cannot do in September, October, or November. So I think it's a smart schedule. They have opportunities when they are sophomores and juniors to go take those official visits and see game day atmosphere in that. But I think most recruits as well anymore, including David Gabriel George, the 5-star running back who was in over the weekend, if they want to make their decisions made, they want to sign scholarship papers, financial papers, NIL papers. They want to get that stuff done by June and July so that they can focus on what's next without having to worry about that during their senior seasons. And then also that is done with an eye so that they can enroll early and then be on campus by December and January. So the calendar has changed all that. Again, I think this is an approach for Ohio State where they have found what they consider to be an edge. And it's really been working out pretty well for them, I think.
And you see why, and I'm for this. I know you're for this. My hunch is Ohio State's for this. You see why a late summer signing day is what's needed, because then this is done. That solves so many issues. If you just put one there, if you want to keep the other one in February, fine. For the kids who don't want to be early enrollees, put that signing day at the end of summer so they can get this done and everybody can enjoy a season. You can't have that one in December. So that hopefully that all starts to align at some point. I'll get you out of here on this one. Did you hear anything last week down at the SEC meetings that gave you any sort of real feeling that anything tangible will be done in terms of changes to the playoff or to the sport?
Not anytime soon, Bo. Tell me if you heard it differently, but
no, I didn't.
You and I have both been of the mindset that Greg Sankey and his primary partner ESPN, they're the ones that control this, and they like the size of it. They like the broadcast piece. They don't want to give up $100 million in revenue from the SEC championship game, and I can't get over this fact that I know that it is not out of the goodness of Greg Sankey's heart that he has become this spokesman for the health of college football. I know that it is primarily driven by ESPN and dollars and cents, but keeping it at 12 is probably going to win him a lot more favors and a lot more friends than he's ever had before, as SEC was traditionally viewed as the adversary of this sport. Right now, that has shifted onto the back of Tony Petitti, and I don't really blame fans. I don't blame you or me for feeling that way. Nobody wants 24 except Tony Petitti. And I know that the coaches are speaking up about it, including in the Big Ten. But 12 is fine. It didn't make mathematical sense when they started it. It's actually turned out better than I thought. Barreling ahead with this recklessly after just 2 years, I think, would be a huge mistake. And now I'm in that uncomfortable position of having to side with Greg Sankey, and I hope we can be done with that soon. But I'm in lockstep with him right now.
Buddy, there's audio of me on this show saying I'm siding with Greg Sankey and that Tommy Tuberville's making a great point. That's how crazy this has all gotten, brother. So
yeah,
be careful what we wish for.
100%. As long as we don't agree with Lane Kiffin, then we'll be safe.
Give him a minute. We'll do it again soon, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Bill. See ya.
All right, there he goes. Austin Ward, The Beat with Austin and Berm and the Roosevelt Live Show on 10 TV+. 3 things on a Monday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
the only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Spring cleaning is when homes get a new twinkle in their eye,
a new spring in their step,
a new color in their cheeks.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
When that shiny truck from 1-800-GOT-JUNK arrives at your house,
it's a sign of a new beginning,
a clean start,
a breath of fresh air.
When your home feels clean and happy,
the people inside feel clean and happy too.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit us at 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Hey, this is Bobby Carpenter here with my friend Jake Ballard with QC Kinetics. So, Jake, I know that the years of football began to erode your knee. Did that subside when you got done playing football, or is that something that has persisted even years after retiring?
When I retired from football, the pain didn't go away. So for me, I had a lot of pain in my left knee, and it was something that caused me aches and pains every day, especially in the morning and the evening. Once I arrived at QC Kinetics and saw Dr. Tesner, they told me all about my knee. The one thing that really got me excited was there's no surgery, and we started treatment right away.
It can change your life, and hopefully that's been the same for you as it has for me.
Bobby, I feel a lot better. Walking without pain, going through my day without pain, even having no pain while I was being more active and hiking or riding a bike.
So, Jake, it was great talking to you about this. And if you're dealing with that kind of pain, check out QC Kinetics, located in Dublin and in Gehenna, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544, or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can give to a child.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Common Man and Timmy are putting together a hangout at the radio station for a small amount of listeners. Pizza will be involved. Ping pong, too. Lots of inappropriate conversation. And don't forget, pin the tail on Teddy. Tell Man and Timmy why you're the perfect guest by emailing goodcleanboy@gmail.com.
Presented by Billiards Plus and sponsored by Paisano Peppers.
The event takes place Thursday, June 11th, and all email submissions must be in by June 1st. Enter today. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Our Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do you have on the poll today?
Daily fan poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, will Brendan Sorsby be eligible to play college football this season? 88% of respondents say no.
Yeah. Nope. How about ours?
So we had asked at the beginning of the program, will you play better or worse on the golf course with a drink? It's split down the middle.
Really? Yeah, definitely worse for me.
Lube it up. See? 50-50 on this show.
A little swing juice. You guys watch Curb? You remember when Vince Vaughn is playing, I don't know, the Funkhauser, and he's out there playing golf with Larry and Jeff, and he's got the flask with a little swing juice in it? Flask is, what do you call it? Elegant? I think he called it elegant. Only Vince Vaughn could deliver that. Time for three things on a Monday.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number one for me. So today is the first day of official summer for the boys. So they were able to sleep in. They were able to not go to school as their summer vacation is on. I'll tell you who doesn't know what to do with their hands. The 3.5-year-old golden retriever, Buddy Garrett. He's got no idea what to do with these humans. Like, he had his routine. We go out, we chase the squirrels, we go for our walk, we have our breakfast, we do all of these things, and we chill a little bit. He is bouncing off walls, running into them. Everything they're doing, he wants to be a part of. It is so cool to see, like, how excited he is to have them home. So we'll have to do the opposite of this in 3 months, but for right now, it's a good day to be Buddy Garrett.
First thing for me, I think as an agent, you're supposed to make your client's life easier. Well, Rich Paul's doing the opposite of that for his client, LeBron James. So he was on the Game Over podcast with Max Kellerman and discussed Michael Jordan's legacy, which, again, if you're connected to LeBron, should always be something you just shy away from. You just no comment the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Paul claimed without Scottie Pippen, Jordan wouldn't have any championship rings. From Rich Paul, quote, I think Scottie's rings are the same as Michael Jordan's. He was the most impactful player on the team. If you unplug Scottie Pippen off of it, Jordan's 0-6.
I don't think you can do that. We saw it the other way when Mike left. We saw it the other way. Scottie's really good. I mean, he's as good of an example of a Robin as you're going to find, but I think that's pretty dismissive. Kobe won with two different versions of the Lakers, one with Shaq and then one with Pau Gasol. There's no doubt in my mind that Michael Jordan could have won with different players if he had to.
Agree with that. I mentioned I was down in Cincinnati at a golf outing on Saturday, and Bo, I saw something this weekend that I've never seen in a golf outing before. Now, I've seen 18 unders win a golf tournament. I've seen 15s, 16s, all of that. The winning score at this golf outing, 21 under par. Now, I understand that this course isn't the most difficult course in the world. I also understand that there were games like 51? If you rolled the dice, you could get the pros drive. If you hit the right cup on a Pong game, you could have one stroke off that hole. And I also knew that every player there could buy a mulligan, so you could have 4 on one team. But 21 under is playing some golf.
Is that a 51?
On that course, because it's a 70, it was a 49.
Good night. Number two for me. So we opened the pool like middle of April, and our thought always on it was late April, I guess. The thought always was like we built this stupid thing, we might as well use it. So at those time of year, in order to entice the children, and this is not a good financial decision at all, but in order to entice the children to go actually use the pool, I usually heat it to like 88. Well, I forgot that I had heated it to 88. And the proof of me forgetting that showed up over the weekend when we went to jump in it, because it has an auto cover on it. That means that the 88, which actually makes it relatively efficient, the 88, after a full day of baking in mid to high 70s sun, 94. Basically bath water. It's what it turned into.
Got you a big hot tub.
Let them cook.
It's a giant hot tub. So, like, God, we got to turn the heat off on this sucker for the rest of the summer. There's no cooling off in this thing.
Speaking of swing lube, I wasn't on the golf course at all this weekend, but I had the high noon transfusion. Would recommend. That's a good grape drink. Not as good as the ones they make at Muirfield, but a good precursor, because I'll have a couple of those this weekend.
I think we're doing, aren't we doing something with them? Aren't we going to do a little cocktail?
There's something in the works.
In the works?
I think that's all we can say as of right now.
Okay. All right. We'll keep it under wraps.
Going to be plenty of transfusions consumed this week and weekend here in Columbus. And that leads to my second thing. I'm starting to get some Memorial Tournament FOMO already because, as you guys know, I won't be out there with you this weekend. I'll be, and I will say this coming weekend is one of my most enjoyable and fun weekends of the year, covering the state softball tournament up in Akron. It is my favorite OHSAA tournament, but especially with this weather forecast and talking about transfusions and golf and swing lube, man, my Memorial Tournament FOMO is bad right now.
Gosh, Bake, you just loping those hills, just roaming those hills like a bison would have been so great to see, buddy, at Muirfield. Sad. Very sad. Number 3, I saw the College Football Hall of Fame finalist lists are out. 2 Buckeyes on it, Chris Carter, A.J. Hawk. If you're wondering, wait, they're not Hall of Famers yet? No, they're not, because they started late in the college football, and they're trying to make it up as they go, so they pick and choose a little bit. But I'm going to say this emphatically. Mike Leach is a College Football Hall of Famer. If you win at Texas Tech and Mississippi State and Washington State, which, by the way, are the 3 most power conference schools as you could ever find. All are outposts. If you win at those places, you're a Hall of Famer. I'm glad they made the record adjustment to allow him the chance to get in. That guy's a Hall of Fame coach.
I'm seeing this now on Twitter, but Pro Football Talk says Caleb Williams will be the cover athlete for Madden 27. That announcement's expected Thursday in Chicago. Are we still doing cover athletes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't show up physical.
No one's doing the physical games anymore.
No,
though, right?
It just shows up like when you load the game, that's the first image you see.
My final thing, don't go anywhere, Rothman and Ice. They'll take care of you on your Monday afternoon. Speaking of Muirfield, live from Muirfield at 1:30 will be Adam King. Then at 2:30, they'll talk to Ian Fitzsimmons.
Oh, that'll be fun. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The 2 most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants. The pervert and the skivvies. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.